Will it appear over here, which you can't see? Here? Or even... Bam! Up here, bitches! Hi! Welcome back, and it's time to finally play Resident Evil 3. I've been streaming for about 7 seconds, so nobody could possibly be watching. But if you're watching this, you're either watching on demand or you're watching on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, then you're probably about one of 2 or 3 people, which means you're probably watching on Twitch. But did you know I'm on YouTube at You Know the Name with no underscores, where you can see the complete Resident Evil archives archived beyond the 2 weeks that Twitch allows me. And if you're on Twitch, no, if you're on YouTube, go on Twitch. You underscore no underscore the underscore name underscore. Twitch wouldn't let me have my YouTube name. It was taken apparently on. And to see these things live, interact, tell me how your day is, tell me deep personal details, tell me your bank details, especially that last one. And above all, follow. That's the most important thing, follow. But yes, after many botched attempts, we are finally pushing on with the complete Resident Evil playthrough. We will do all the games, including the Revelations, and I will drink from this Resident Evil mug to show you how serious I am. Cold. We had RE2, Claire's campaign. Now it's time for, numerically speaking, RE3. But if you think numbers are going to work like numbers work, then you're in for a bit of a surprise with the Resident Evil series. So, Resident Evil 3, a game I've got a lot to say about, which I will if no one joins the stream. I mean, I will if people do join the stream. It turns out I can talk to myself about Resident Evil for literally... That's loud. Literally... Oh, I've put my face over the options. That's bad. Alright. That doesn't mean I can't go... Bam! I'm here. Yes, we're going to play the story. Where's my controls? As canonical as possible. I'm kind of doing these games mostly in canonical order, which is a bit of a problem with Resident Evil 3 because it takes place partly before and partly after 2, and 2 you have to play twice for Leon and Claire. So what I've been doing is I did Resident Evil 2 after Resident Evil 1, which to anybody who's not affiliated with the series would sound logical. And I'm going to play Resident Evil 3 up until the point Resident Evil 2 starts, then play Resident Evil 2 the other campaign, then finish 3 and maybe do Fourth Survivor on Resident Evil 2 just to get that in there, because the end of 3 isn't likely to make a very long stream. Yeah, if that sounds confusing, don't worry, just come along for the ride, it's all good. But 2, I feel doing 2 in its right place after 3 is where it belongs, but also doing it directly after 1 as it was intended to be seen is also where it belongs, but that's fine because 2 has 2 different versions of the game which you have to play canonically for both. So that's what we're going to do. Julie's here. You're lurking, that's fine, that's fine. That also reminds me I need to put subtitles on for the lovelies at home who can't hear. And I need to find subtitles. I wish video games as a whole could just come to a decision as to whether subtitles come under display, under language, or under audio, because you know when you need to turn them on or off, you never know in a new game where they're going to be. Does that count? Yep, we got that. Also, my HDR is on. Resident Evil 2 remake, which is very much the same technology, wouldn't allow you to broadcast with your face if you had HDR on. Clearly that's not the problem here. So without further ado, there's been quite a lot of ado at this point. Oh, do I need to change? Have I got any costumes? Well, like I say, I don't like the knockoff Lara Croft costume, but I think they've... Oh, the Nemesis costume's de-unlocked itself. You can wear the original Resident Evil 3 costume. I've got Carlos's... Oh, Carlos has got nothing. I have a sneaking suspicion I've not played this on PS5. I bought it on PS4 and now on PS5, so in between changing consoles I've lost some stuff. No matter. We will start a new game. And, oh, we've unlocked all the difficulty modes. I don't know. Never play this game on the 2 hardest difficulty modes because it's broken. Let's go with... If I remember correctly, it's pitifully easy, made for children who were born with flippers. Pitifully easy, but made for people who at least have thumbs, even if they can't use them. Hardcore is, in this game, what standard was in the last game. I remember that. Nightmare is harder than hardcore was in the last game, and it's just kind of insane. And Inferno is like a joke mode that's just completely impossible without the cheats that you're supposed to have. Good design. So let's go straight down the middle and be hardcore. Maybe I can even move my face back up. Let's also have a nice hardcore load. And we're rejoining... Oh, no one. There we go. It's better. And oh, that's kind of a clear game. Should go away. Yes. What am I doing now? Okay, apparently I'm down there. This is
spread faster than any disease in modern history.
And before anyone says it, I know, pandemic. Yes, this was the first major release during lockdown. Kudos to Capcom for just pushing ahead and releasing it. So many things were going, oh, we've got viruses in. Capcom was like, no, releasing a game about a worldwide virus, riots, all that shit, right now. Also, this is the first ever live-action intro scene since the original Resident Evil. And whereas in that game it was awesome and cheesy, this is just cheap, I think. Plus, why are they showing footage of riots? It's a zombie outbreak. There's never any sense of there being riots in Raccoon. Anyway. I'm going to be doing a lot of complaining in this stream, if you feel that. I know he's meant to be in a commercial, but he's coming across as far too creepy. I mean, even if Umbrella was like a completely on-the-level humanitarian aid company, if you ran him in this commercial, you wouldn't trust them. Anyway, Resident Evil 3. I've tried already. I want to move my face, game, and you're not letting me move my face. Up here. There. Can I leave my face there? Okay. You're playing ball now. You weren't playing ball a minute ago. Something tells me that's Toronto. Might be LA. What's in the box? What's in the box? We know what's in the box. In fact, isn't it just written on the box? And into the actual game. You can tell because the RE engine makes everything look nice for a second until you look closely. Like RE2, this has not been patched or improved in any way for PS5, so enjoy this PS4 game. And for those who don't know, we're rejoining Jill Valentine, which I think you all know by now, who, as we remember from the Resident Evil 1 stream, has a severely bruised bottom from falling on her ass every time as her first reaction to anything. As intros go, I don't hate this. I mean, there's some good visual storytelling here. You know, the unkempt bed, Jill's scattered psyche after the first game, Jill's hat from Resident Evil 1, or one of them. And can you see the STARS logo there? No, you can't, because it's blurry as fuck, because for some reason it's got grimy, horrible, low-definition textures and everything. Which is what I mean when I talk about the RE engine looking good until you look closely. And this is true of all 3 Resident Evil games that used it until Village, which I played on the PS5, and I think it was a power thing, because when the PS5 power is applied to it, it suddenly looks nice. Unnerving combat. Well, that'll get you to sleep after your horrific ordeal. Nice choice, Jill. Oh, the STARS photo from Resident Evil 2 original. I like that. I didn't know that was there. Is this girl in the photos here Jill? Is this what she gets up to in her spare time? Who's the man? Is this her boyfriend? Is her mysterious boyfriend from the original who was replaced with a dog in this version? And Jill's gone crazy, ate bananas. Clearly. There's some Pepe Silva level shit. I think a lot of this, we recognise a net. I think this photo may have cloth physics on it, because that's not how photos should move. And yes, this Raccoon City map, the layout of Raccoon City has been changed from Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 to the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. And I remember being obsessive enough to actually examine it in detail, and this does actually correlate to the game. So under the first C of Raccoon City there, you've got that little shape leading from the main street with that little line denoting a gate, which actually is a gate that appears in both 2 and 3. And there's that little, just right of Ennerdale Street, there's that little kind of zigzag line that the A character in Resident Evil 2 takes down an underpass. Which for Resident Evil nerds like me is nice. CDs and a very 90s looking hi-fi player, again slathered in ugly low definition textures. Shall we press on with the game? Because Jill's apartment and life is very black and white. See, she's wearing a tank top and jeans. They couldn't include this as just a costume to play the game in. Not going to be very interesting, but there's so few costumes in this game compared to the original. Could you not include the one you actually made? I'm going to sound angry. I'm going to be doing a lot of venting. But oh no! Colour! It kind of worked better when Casino Royale did the whole introducing blood to a black and white scene thing, but... And that's how Jill became a zombie and canonically died in the Resident Evil series. Yes, she was infected all this time. Brains. You still would. Let's face it, you still would. Such trauma left over from the original. Roll credits. But it was all just a dream! Yeah. Oh, also, because this game is a modern game and Jill is a strong female character now, she swears like a sailor. So, anybody who's easily triggered by swearing, this is not the stream for you. So fuck off. Worst month of my life. See, this is... Now we're in Jill's apartment for real. You can tell because she can turn the lights on. And we've got colour. It's mostly the same. If you think I'm going to mercilessly point out every plot inconsistency and thing that doesn't make sense, blurry low def textures, woo! At least they're loading in this time, not like RE7. Then yes, I will be mercilessly picking it. But a lot of it's the same. Again, great visual storytelling here. Nothing about any of this stuff is actually commented on. You can just turn that on with your telekinesis. Oh, she comments on the pills. But yeah, she's on heavy meds. She's clearly packing up to leave. And this is all just stuff that's lying around the apartment. This is the kind of surprisingly decent visual storytelling. Lots of lovely posters on the wall. These I find interesting because even though Jill's got the whole masculine Lara Croft dirty tank top kind of thing going on, she's still kind of a girly girl, and she's got all these like fashion model pictures and Vogue stuff, and it's an interesting look into her private life. What's that banging over there? It's too early to be scared. So nice posters. A suspiciously blank section of wall with nothing on it. I'm sure that won't come important at all. They killed him. Wartime photojournalism. See, just looking at the kind of stuff Jill has. Yeah, what is going on out there, and how has it started so suddenly, and why are you just finding out now? Anyway.
3 more days, then I can kiss this town goodbye.
Precisely why Jill's decided to wait 3 more days rather than just getting the fuck out of here right now is kind of up for debate. Yes, this is Raccoon City. I think we're currently under this piece of paper at the bottom here, as you'll see. Jill lives very close to the RPD. What could that be? And also, how the hell did Jill get this picture? RPD, got a picture of your workplace there. And again, all these pins and photos do actually lead to the right place. Like the RPD string leads to the Raccoon Police Department, which is apparently another... Hang on. There's the stars photo on the wall there. And there's another copy of the same photo. Jill really loves her friends. And she's reported. So yes, Jill is talking about the first one. Resident Evil 2 is somewhat different characters. Thanks to... And Jill's been suspended from Stars because they didn't like to hear the stories about how her team died. And to be honest, if you were asked to explain how your workmates died and you told them bites from infected people, infected monster crows, and an airborne virus, and they were bitten by literal zombies, you would probably be fired as well. So let's give the RPD a certain amount of credit here. That's an interesting idea that Jill has been living with the uncertainty of whether or not she is infected, which plays very nicely into the nightmare in the beginning and her uncertainties as a character. None of this, writing-wise, is ever touched after the intro scene, minor spoiler, so I feel they were onto something, but maybe due to time constraints or just something else, they couldn't really push through with it. This game is the quintessential Rush job. Umbrella, we know them, they're bad. Looks like military weapons, TV. The mansion incident. So yeah, Umbrella rules this town. An interestingly incisive political comment on corporate America. Oh look, we've got Brian Ines's mail. A lot of it. The file from Resident Evil 2 original about him being a convicted rapist is actually removed entirely from this game. It's... What's this? Oh boy. Okay, so Jill's been effectively under house arrest. This is all stuff that wasn't in the original. This is the point at which I like Resident Evil 3, because it's actually expanding on things, rather than cutting them, but we'll get to that later. I don't know what Jill's plan to escape the city in 3 days is. So this is a letter left behind in case she's killed, but she's left it in her flat in plain sight, so anybody who kills her could just come and destroy it. Maybe hide it somewhere at least, Jill. Also, Resident Evil Easter egg, this daily report book here is an image from the background of the original, which is a... When you read a file, you get an image of like a book or something in the background behind the text, and this book is modelled off that. Also, it looks like, what looks like a small diary is in fact a massive 2-inch ledger, so Jill's been making some bloody verbose reports. Umbrellas. Nice. Who's at the door? No one. And when I talk about this game not looking very good, even though it looks like it looks very good at the beginning, I think you can see it more on this one. It's stuff like the details in the box, like the Stars emblem on Jill's cap here, still just a blurry smudge. I can see what they're going for, but it's still just a blurry smudge of pixels. No reason it couldn't look better. Why is this beer logo got no name on it? And this box here, look at the writing on this box. It's just random letters and things, and like a well-made, good-looking game would have written something legible on the box. It's just little things like that that annoy me. There's these blurry, low-definition holes here. I mean, yes, we're playing a third-person game in first-person, meaning we can rub our face up against things in a way we're not supposed to. What's Jill's staple diet here? Soup and pizza. And coffee. Colleague. Which colleague? We know which colleague. Yeah, been suspended for making it out of that hellhole. Which we did. We were here. You know the name on YouTube. You can watch the complete Resident Evil 1 playthrough of Jill. I didn't do 2 playthroughs of that one. We've not actually played as Chris yet. Sorry, boulders. So unsurprisingly, Brad Vickers, who is the helicopter pilot who flew off at the beginning of Resident Evil 1 and left the stars behind, necessitating running to the mansion and having a Resident Evil 1, has been keeping his head down. Shocking, that. Wait, Stars was disbanded and he thought he was going to lose his job, but he didn't. What is your job then, Brad? You've disbanded the department you work for, but you're still employed. Are you the only star? So, yeah, Brad is being typically useless, but on the bright side, he bought us a pizza, of which Jill only ate half. More Easter eggs here. Green herbs, good feeling. Yep, I get it. Fun. Funny. Quad rocket launcher going boom. Nice Resident Evil 1 reference there. Again, whenever I see things like these pictures, which I know they're just copy-paste assets. I mean, these pictures here are the same as the ones on the board over there. Do you have pictures up in your flat? Or house, or wherever you live? Do you have other identical copies of those pictures on a different wall, like 6 feet away from the first ones? Maybe more? But is that Jill? Is that like a little brother or something? Are these her friends? We just, we know these characters so well, but nothing at all. What's the black cat thing? See, every time you get close enough, you get an artsy kind of blur effect, which means you can't see shit. Kendo gun shop, more green herbs. I mean, Jill really likes her green herbs. Those jokes about them being marijuana are bakery bread. She's slovenly. Some kind of industrial quantity of milk. Spaghetti. Jill lives in a shithole. She does not do cleaning. Because she a modern woman who don't do no housework and shit, or wear makeup. Raccoon milk? The milk bottle is called... Hang on. Okay, first of all, she's keeping bread in the fridge. Is that a normal thing? Lots and lots of beer. And sugary snacks. Jill should be an obese, like, heart attack patient. But raccoon milk? I get what they're going for, but raccoons are an animal. You can't be milking raccoons. Plus, they're tiny. How many raccoons would you need to milk to fill this bottle with raccoon milk? Okay, this game officially got scary. Let's push on with the plot. Oh boy, let's have a shower this time. No, there's no gratuitous shower scene. You misogynists wanting to see women. Don't look at that screen right there. It's sexist. But hey, our skin's staying on this time. We found a new top. And a necklace, because we really are just doing a blue-tinted cosplay of modern Lara Croft. With this examination, we can finally pull the camera out of our head and play the game from the perspective we're actually going to be playing it from.
Who could that be?
Fucking telemarketers. Give them a piece of my mind. No, I won't. Can we look in the fridge again? Raccoon milk. Do you know...
Alright, I'm coming.
I've got to say, I mean, I'm making fun of this game for being a kind of woke feminist thing, but it really isn't. I mean, they're still giving Jill massive boobs. In fact, I think she has bigger boobs here than Lara Croft has in the same costume, which is ridiculous. Yes, shut up. How long will this phone ring before... No. I'm not going to make me watch your phone. What is going on out there, and how the hell has Jill missed all of this, and how the hell did...
You could call back.
Yeah, I'll give you a piece of my mind. No, I do not want your insurance.
Hello?
Jill, are you okay?
Brad, is that you?
Listen, you gotta get out of there.
What are you talking
You
about?
can't trust Brad Vickers.
You gotta get out of there right now.
Alright, let me grab my...
Oh yeah! So something that I like is the trash bag look to begin with. Jill, you should know better than to try that. Oh no, the thing that's only mission in life is to kill her has gone. Oh, and I was just going to put it down again. Okay. Again, a very Uncharted-y sort of intro, but this is basically a cutscene you barely play. So yeah, I like the fact they didn't send Nemesis in looking like he's lost half of his face. He's actually kind of dressed as a functional military product. But he does the bad Terminator movie thing of he's this unstoppable guy who's... Wow, stuff. Oh boy. Come on, dude, one pull-up. Like, one pull-up. Come on. Contract the shoulder blades, go up. Oh. Okay, learn from his mistakes, and oh, no, yeah, don't go back in. Oh. Wow. Also, I guess Nemesis gave up. Yeah, he does the bad Terminator movie thing of he catches Jill like all the time, but then he just like immediately just throws her harmlessly across the room and then goes to get her and throws her harmlessly across the room again. I mean, yeah. We'll talk more about him later. Take that with you and your hand penis. And again, like modern Lara Croft, they make a big thing about the whole desexualizing thing and then shove the camera up her arse at every opportunity. With which I'm okay. Oh no, Raccoon City's been... Ooh, red herbs. Thankfully Jill can pass some pot plants without eating them. Ah, the escape. Let's just run to this ladder uninterrupted. Ah! And again, he could have crushed her skull like that, ended the game and completed his mission, but nope. Despite the fact that in the original he would just pick you up and like skull fuck you with his tentacle. There's no danger here. Even if he gets her, he's just gonna like flop her about and then try to very slowly punch her. Said it before and I'll say it again. Nemesis saying stores in the original was scary because it sounded like understated and thoughtful. You can barely even make out what he's saying here. He's just going. Whoa! And this is roughly where the original began. The original begins with Jill being ejaculated out of a door by an explosion, and that's kind of what's happening here.
Over here.
Brad!
Oh look, it's Brad Vickers, the guy who left us behind in Game 1.
You okay?
Who was never actually seen.
Damned if I know. But right now it's got a hard-on for the only two stars left in town. You and me. I'm not...
It's got a hard-on for Jill?
Just look around you. The longer we
What is it, the internet?
This all happened so fast.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, this is a lot to happen while you were just having a little nap.
It's like
Sigourney! Because I don't know if you noticed that Resident Evil sometimes takes inspiration from Sigourney Weaver in Aliens.
Hey, wait! Down here! Damn it!
Again, lovely details, pretty game. Say pretty game, but look at their zombies. They're animating at 15 frames a second, and there's some really weird alien thing going on with the fog.
We could be dreaming.
Because Resident Evil 3 giveth, and Resident Evil 3 taketh away.
Brad! Here they come!
Yeah, like behind you, dude, you know how this works.
Here!
There's so many.
Don't go that way, and... Oh, the naked lady on this sign is actually a character from Capcom fighting game Darkstalkers, whose name is Morrigan. So little cameo there. Shove something through the handles!
Don't think about it. We're gonna make a run for it.
Come on, Jill. We know how this ends.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Always.
You were there.
Don't fuck up like I do. Go!
Sorry.
No, let's go back in and get him. No, okay, we can't. So that's all Brad Vickers does. He's now being horribly eaten to death by zombies. And, oh, well, that's intensely convenient. A gun. And look at Jill's tank top now. While she's checking the gun. What's she wearing? Now look over there. And back at Jill. Where did that combat webbing come from? She didn't pick up any combat webbing. Important? Not really. But, yes. In the original, and like Resident Evil 2 Remake, I'm going to say that a lot, Jill is just dressed in her civvy clothes, then she meets the UBCS and they arm her up, and then she becomes more combat worthy as a character, even though it doesn't really translate to the game, and she's got combat webbing on to look like she's now prepared. It was a character point, it had a storyline reason. Here it literally just appears with no explanation between camera cuts. Not even between camera cuts, between camera movements. It's just a classic example of how this game isn't as good as the first one.
Sir, are you alright?
Stay back! Don't come any closer!
Hey, come on. There's a helicopter waiting to take you to safety.
Yeah, come on, stupid.
Safety! I'm not going out there!
The parking garage isn't far. I can
The
take
only safe place isn't here!
I'm not sure your lip sync quite matches Mr. Rosso. In the original, you'd have a very similar cutscene to this before this very similar thing happens. Then you'd be exploring the area for a bit, solving puzzles and backtracking and doing Resident Evil stuff. And later on in the game, you could come back here and you find that he got eaten by zombies in the interim.
Sir, what's your name? I
In
can't
this
leave you
one,
behind.
this is it. You just run through the area, see this guy, carry on with the game.
Yeah, right.
Are you beginning to see why I'm always saying why the game is short?
Get your own, Missy.
Missy?
Yeah, you misogynist.
Would you please calm down? I'm a police officer.
I got a gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've been doing a bang-up job. You want to help? Go handcuff yourself to one of those freaks.
No, that would kill me. Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Sir, this is your last chance. No one else is coming for you.
I'm not going anywhere.
This is the line.
I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters. Now leave me alone.
Which is literally the exact line he says in the first one, so it's a good reference. This area is in the original, but again, you just run through it here, whereas before you'd travel to an office in the corner and there was things around. It's like, yeah, here it's just scenery that whizzes by. Oh, yes, again, I've said before, I love picking up handgun bullets. And we have, nope. How do you, oh yeah, the knife is now a selectable weapon rather than being a sub-weapon like in RE2. You can't use them as defensive items anymore, but then again, they never break. Oh Christ, okay, yeah, these guys suck. A lot of ugly aliasing on any of these details because of the RE engine. And yes, we want to get to the helicopter, but it's a video game cutscene, it'll wait for us to get there. Looks scary, this is all essentially just a cutscene, I'm not really playing at this point, I'm just pushing forward on stick. So about 10 minutes into the game, we've already breezed through a huge chunk of areas from the first game that were classics and we'll never see again because...
Shit.
whoa, there we go. And that's something new for this game. A dodge mechanic. If you press the R1 button, Jill will do a little dodge, and if you time it perfectly, she'll kind of jive in slow motion away from an enemy, which in harder difficulties becomes absolutely vital. Is based on a move from Resident Evil 3, the original, which also had a dodge mechanic in that one game only. It's one of those weird mechanics they introduced to a new game and then never brought back. In the original, some people say you have to hit the aim button or the fire button just as the enemy hits you. In my experience, it just has a random chance of happening. There are definitely times I've put the controller down and had a bunch of dogs mob me and Jill's dodged them over and over again without any input from me. In this game, it actually does work as a mechanic, maybe a little too well, but when it comes to that... Never mind, the game's over because we can now escape. Now to go over here uninterrupted. Oh, come on. In the original, that happens almost at the end of the main game when you finally escaped, and then this happens. In this game, it happens within 10 minutes and is never spoken of again. I'll be saying that a lot. And it's an honest-to-God QuickTime event. I'll let you play along. X.
Start, damn it.
Oh. X. This is the extent of the gameplay
It's
right
my
now.
turn, bitch.
R2. Cool, right? No. Hold R2. Awesome cutscene, and these are awesome cutscenes, but you just saw the extent of the interaction I have with any of this stuff. Pretty sure Nathan Drake's done this exact same thing. I'm probably going to sound really negative today, because, you know, I'm a Resident Evil guy. Who'd have guessed? Yeah, I'll give credit where credit's due. I think Jill looks lovely. I mean, Sasha Zadova's a great fat face model, although we will always miss Julia Hart. And that's a good reveal of Nemesis's kind of iconic form. He's lost his trash bag. And a lot of people hate on the redesign. Other than the long piano key teeth, I kind of like it. I like the messed up nose, like someone just kind of draped a face over him. I'm not sure about dressing him in a garbage bag, but I prefer his redesign to Mr. X's. Visually, I think his stupid teeth and garbage bag aren't as stupid as Mr. X's ridiculous little hat.
Carlos. I'm saving you. Come on. Let's get you someplace.
Our male lead, who, as the internet pointed out, is possibly the most popular part of this game, and played very well. And I think it's entirely because of the actor. The character himself is a cliche, kind of lovable lunk.
I think we're in the clear.
But the actor pulls it off. Jeff Shine, his name is. Pulls it off with just such charisma that it's kind of fun. Also like Nathan Drake.
My guys have converted some subway cars into a shelter. It's safe.
Having history's worst hair day.
Personal space. Okay, I get it. Let's go. Oh, come on. Who's the dipshit that closed this? Sorry, we're gonna have to go around.
Already we have a friend. Again, before you encountered him as you were exploring the city. In this game, you just run into him 10 minutes in and that's settled.
But it's no zombie. It knows what it wants and won't stop till it gets it. Don't you like that in a man?
No thanks. He's all yours.
See, Carlos is kind of flirty. In the original, he has a real South American accent, which I'm pretty sure is a fake chica or la chica kind of thing.
Yes, for sure.
And yeah, he's a bit of a cliche. You want to ask me out because you like my accent.
You're the ones who caused all of this.
Whoa.
Thankfully, they ditched that angle, but made it
We're
work.
just here to help people. What's wrong with Umbrella?
What's wrong with Umbrella? Oh my god. Your company is responsible for infecting everyone.
Yeah. I don't know anything about all that. You don't have to trust
I love that response. Anybody who's ever worked in the service industry is like, not my department. Infected everyone, destroyed a city. Hey, sweetie, that's not my department. I'm just here to shoot stuff. Yes, we're already working with Umbrella, who are here to save citizens. This is a new area. This wasn't in the original, but there was a tram in the original, but it's just been turned into a subway here.
Your captain.
Again, this is one of those bits where the game genuinely does look really, really good.
Carlos, you didn't even think to ask fine young lady her name?
We all love Mikhail, who gets an expanded role here.
Operative of RPD, Special Tactics and Rescue Service.
One of the few things the game actually expands upon, rather than cutting.
Valentine.
It's Jill.
Nice to meet you, Jill.
It's someone's job somewhere, just think about this,
Yes, platoon leader Mikhail Viktor.
to lovingly render every smear of dirt on a woman's face. Because women with dirty faces just seems to be what video games do these days.
How's that going for you?
The city is completely
You ever met anybody whose job that is?
isolated. Most of the 100,000 civilians will wind up dead. Correction, undead. My platoon has suffered serious losses. Just keeping them alive is more than I can manage.
Well, you can think
There's a lot about the UBCS, or the
Yes.
Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service,
Doing all we can.
that don't make a whole lot of sense.
If we can get this subway train moving, we can evacuate some survivors. But we need help. My men cannot do this alone.
All right.
Gotta hand it to you, this is some gorgeous facial animation.
I am on their side, not yours.
Oh, hey. It's cool. We all want the same thing.
Thank you, Jill.
Also earlier, as we passed Coffee Shop Sigourney, I mentioned, as we got from the Claire Sherry relationship in Resident Evil 2,
I know what a radio
these games are very inspired by the Alien films, and Mikhail is played by William Hope, who I think plays the evil Carter Burke in Aliens.
Head up to
So,
street level. You'll find supplies there.
All right.
so it's not a one-to-one thing. In the original, I've just got to stop saying in the original. You'd explore downtown, you'd solve a few puzzles, you'd dodge nemesis, you'd kill zombies, and then you'd encounter these guys in a tram, and they'd say, "Here, have a radio and some gear." And then they'd give Jill the combat webbing, and I think there was a radio as well. No, there wasn't a radio. Would it have really killed the game to have her just have the combat webbing here instead of having it randomly appear 5 minutes ago? No, it wouldn't make any bloody difference. A tiny change that would make a tiny bit more sense, and it's just... The fact they didn't catch that is just kind of endemic of this game entirely. And here's the civilians we're saving, which is Agent 47, and another Agent 47. And that's it. And again, some lovely artwork. Wily and Light here, the two main characters from the Mega Man series. Mega Man's here. Lots of Capcom references. Big E is actually subtly written on the wall in the original as a band, so now they've actually been expanded on. Bit of deep Resident Evil lore there. And yes, we're up top. Subway Station's an entirely new area. Not really much of an addition, but on Brad Vickers, they just kill Brad Vickers, he gets bitten there. In the original, you encounter him running from Nemesis, and you don't meet Nemesis until you get to the RPD, and he lands and kills Brad by skewering him through the head in a very memorable kill. It's a real loss that they've taken that away, because it established that Nemesis is there to kill Stars, and he kills a somewhat established character and the only other Stars member, leaving Jill alone against Nemesis and setting up the game. The fact that he doesn't kill Brad anymore is kind of a shame. And say, oh look, they killed him again. That must be like a real bestseller. Tabloid. Cannibal Murders, a complete digest. In the grey of the morning of September 25th, a frantic caller telephoned the RPD to report an assault. A man described as dishevelled, like a vagrant, was attacking a passerby north of the Lambs Museum of Art. I'm not going to do that for the whole reading. But yes, random people have been attacking people. Cannibal disease. Who's been munching on man steak? That's tacky even for a tabloid. Gross. Yeah, we do get a bit more from Brad in this one later on, but unfortunately Brad doesn't appear in Resident Evil 2 except out of a picture. In the first Resident Evil 2...
Jill, it's me again. You topside yet?
Give me a break, Carlos. I left like 2 minutes ago and I've been reading the papers.
Got me clearing the tracks. You mind getting the subway infrastructure back online?
And how do I do that?
Let's start by restoring power. I'll navigate you to the substation once you hit the main road.
Copy that. Let's do this fast.
Yeah, the big burly, well-armed guy is going to stay down here on his own and move rocks, and the woman with a handgun with almost a full clip and no sleeves is going to go halfway across town to turn the thing back on. Great tacticking there. So if you unlock things using the cheat menu, this is generally where you find them kind of scattered around here. Plus it's got the old Resident Evil 4 boxes. You know, It never occurred to me before. I don't think those boxes were in Resident Evil 2, were they? You just found stuff. Not sure why they'd add them to Resident Evil 3. In Resident Evil 2, it was very hard, but if you got to the RPD through the street section, which was cut from the remake mostly, without picking anything up, you would encounter a zombie of Brad at the RPD. And it's like, oh shit, it's the guy from the first game died. But it wasn't until 2 years later when they released RE3. These are things that I bought. So I can expand my inventory massively now. I'll take one. Otherwise I'll play the games it's meant to be played. I don't want to play it with cheats, so it's a bit too easy. I think this is just a note on how to use gunpowder. Oh, what herbs do. Okay, there's always a file at the beginning explaining what herbs do. Do I take the knife? Actually, I can... Yep, there we go. Which means... we now have a full clip of Glock. I've probably got some cheat stuff in there. Oh yeah, I've got Jill's Samurai Edge, infinite ammo handgun, infinite ammo assault rifle. These are all things I use to survive these things that improve your stats. We're not going to use any of those to survive the hardcore mode, basically. I have platinumed the game now. You encounter Brad in the first one, and then in 2 years later in Resident Evil 3, you see how he died and got there, which was cool. In this one, he's been removed from Resident Evil 2, and he just appears in this game, and he isn't killed by Nemesis, and it's not the worst. It's nice that he gets a bit of a redemption arc. You tap the R1 button, you do a little dodge. You time it perfectly with a zombie attack. Let's see if it fucks up. And then, dodge out of the way. Very hard to time. Problem is you become so dependent on it that I'm going to get back into Resident Evil 2 where it's not in and be really screwed. But yeah, already what was a huge chunk of the game in the original with puzzles and tactics and everything has been relegated to just a few cutscenes and a little linear path. So as you'll remember from the RE2 stream, zombies are actually really well thought out in these games with location damage and... shoot legs off. Whoa, there we go. And there was some awesome dismemberment in Resident Evil 2. If you remember, like, you'd shoot them in the face and it'd take off half the skin and have a skull available there, and you could shoot the legs off to slow them down, or you shoot the arm and it would just kind of slither out the socket and drop to the floor and they'd stagger around with no arm. Almost all of that's just been removed from this game. It's just gone. The zombies still act like the zombies, but they're much more low-tech. I'm not sure why. Anyway, once we get to the substation. Alright, substation.
Carlos, I've reached the main avenue. Which way do I go?
See a big transmission tower? That's
Nope.
the substation. You'll have to circle around through an alley to your right to get there.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely a tall drink of water like yourself can put out a few flames.
Fuck you.
Lovely. A note to any writers out there, if you want to establish a woman as strong and independent, that's not the same as making her a cunt. Because now we like Carlos more because he's cool and funny and actually compassionate, and Jill's just kind of a bitch. Arguably justified, but hashtag not my Jill Valentine. Jill's always been a lot softer and more compassionate, and this is just generic, strong character. You know what red barrels mean in a video game? I would give them shit for being cliche, but they were part of the original. In fact, my first death, well, not first death, one of my many deaths in my first playthrough of the original RE3, which I remember, was me standing too near to a barrel and misunderstanding the lock-on system. Oh. Well, that's convenient. This is also another bit of iconography from the original. There's lots of kind of windows and bits of scenery from the original, even though this has a completely different layout. They just kind of stuck like a shop here, or in that case a display there. So it does always evoke RE3. That is not one of them. The little known third Mario brother over there. Yeah, so these areas are very pretty, but they're not... Stab him in the butt, in the butt. Stab him in the butt. Oh, he's raising his butt, he likes it. 3, 2, 1, boom. For the most part, this game isn't the hardest. Which is quite a nice unless you set the difficulty level to high. And we're not there yet, but the last boss of this game, on the two hardest difficulty modes, is without question the hardest boss I have ever faced in any video game. And I've played some hardcore video games over the course of the last 20, 30 years. My first playthrough of this game on second hardest difficulty mode, the game's really short. I got through to get the whole game in like 3 hours. My final playtime was 12.5 hours. And other than the 3 hours of the whole game, the last 3 hours was just the final boss. The last 9 hours was just the final boss. It's that broken. We're not playing on that mode, and I will never play it on that mode ever again. Because I then went back and did it on the even harder mode, and it took me another 5 or 6 hours, but I really wanted that platinum. Areas like this are where it's great. Just the atmosphere, the use of the lighting, the book. That new hair. So the drugstore owner's journal is just writing about his work. Here's a man who loves his job. That new hair tonic from Umbrella. I want to check the guy's hairline now, but if I unskip, if I go out of his, a zombie's going to get me. Maybe you ought to invest in a good safe to hold all this cash that's rolling in. Nobody knows the code. Not even my wife. The secret between my beautiful Aquacure Queen. Code Aquacure Queen. Check his hairline. Yeah, not so sure about that. Oh god, I've put my face over the comments. I can't see what you wrote. I can't find the right place for my face today. I'm gonna put my face down here. That's a good place, isn't it? That's not in the way. Hang on. Yeah. So sorry about that. I missed your comment. But also, there's a man who could use some hair tonic. I love it when video games do this. Look at the torch light, 'cause I'm facing that way, but now I'm turning the other way, but the light's flashing out of my shoulder. What? All games do this. All third-person games with torches do this. I don't mind it. It just makes me chuckle. Handgun bullets, yes. Half-whole. Half-whole flower? Is it half or is it whole? I don't understand this store. No, we'll just go here and then so... What? Oh, come on, dude. Party stage! This is the party stage of the game. It's like that half pipe in Sonic 2. It's just like a party bonus stage where Jill collects rings. Oh! Freaking sweet. That was the pharmacy owner's journal, wasn't it? Again, lovely scene, gross aliasing on edges. PS5 patch, please. Whoa! Also, thanks. So this would be the drugstore that the journal owner mentioned. And what's this? Actually, what's along here? Aquacure Queen? Where have we heard those words before? So, again, a good video game puzzle and a great reference to the original where you'd have to... There was a bit where you'd have to go in and turn on a TV in an Umbrella office. The Umbrella office has been cut from this game. And one of 3 commercials would be playing for Umbrella products, one of which was Aquacure, and whichever one came up, you'd have to type that into a computer. This is a great way of having a similar thing with one of the same products. What are they curing? What's Aquacure curing? Physical fitness. Okay, it's like a protein shake. Umbrella brand protein shakes, because Umbrella do hair tonic and protein shakes. I should really be surviving and not just reading the science. But yes, he has hidden the code to all his money in red ink in the middle of a public shop. Something tells me that when we do 937 upstairs, there might not be a whole lot of cash left in this fella's safe. We're going to look, and... Oh, you stay there and have some Aquacure. It's good for recovery and fitness. I mean, it might not work on you. I suppose the hair tonic's a bit redundant at this point, but... yeah, we're going to get... Oh, crap, I've talked myself out of it. 937, yeah. Where's... Alright, you. Here's Jill Valentine hair tonic. We put the plugs in very, very aggressively. Stab him in the cock, stab him in the cock. And also the face. Okay, so we'll just put the hair plugs in here, 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 and here. 937, I remember. Oh, I mean, you were excited about the hair tonic? Really? Not exactly a walking advert there. 9, 3, 7. Alright, where's all that lovely cash? In retrospect, this was to be expected. A dot sight for the exact model of handgun that I'm holding. What a very curious thing to invest your money in. But now, as with Resident Evil 2, which I do love about both games, much as I give them shit, we now have a red dot sight, which is far more accurate to shoot with, and I love the upgradable weapons in general. So, see, I'm not always horrible to Resident Evil 3, not Nemesis. In fact, also the unstoppable killing machine, which is unstoppably trying to kill us, has just, I guess, got something better to do right now. Oh, jeez. Oh, I know what I see. Excuse me. There we go. Oh, crap. Okay, I think that's all we're going to get from there. I mean, it's worth a look, isn't it? The Kite Brothers Railway. Again, I don't think this was in the original because there was no train in the original. It was a tram. It was a lovely old, almost English-style decorative tram, which you had to fix up to get out of town. Now we just need to turn a thing on, but before you had to find like a cable and the oil and mix the oil and... In the butt, in the butt. Stab him in the butt. Hey, Jill, remember when you were in that mansion and you had to set fire to them all, like using kerosene and matches? And in this game, she's just like, nah, just shove a knife up his bum. Aha! And now we've got the means to get through to the substation, and... Fine, this is getting worse and worse, these pops. Yeah. Got the shotgun for when it hits breaking point. Locked it up in the gun rack. Cut the I really cut the chain to break the chain. Thanks, Mr. Subway guy. And remember the bolt cutters from Resident Evil 2? They're back in this game with the exact same animation and the exact same asset, using the exact same way. Yeah, we can't pick the lock. Jill Valentine, who's famously the master of unlocking, can't pick the lock currently. Everything's better with a hand grenade, but we're also out of space, so... There we go. Do you know what, just to free up some space, and let's face it, what else are we going to use these things for? Yeah, we're good. So now we can put out the fire, turn on the juice.
This must be the subway company's offices.
Oh, looks like someone didn't finish their donuts. Which is another Resident Evil reference that you will come to get later. I'm so much of a nerd for this sort of thing. But the thing I love about Twitch is I get to just play games I love and people will watch them and have a good time. Or they won't, it's fine. It's why I could never be one of those many, many people who's just playing Warzone over and over again, or I'll play some Fortnite, but it's not going to be my one thing. I'm here to do the games I really like. Or try out games I might like, if anybody has any recommendations. Hello, 3 of you, 1 of me. I make that red barrel o'clock. Yes, there will be if you lot come to the bloody party. Where are you going? Oh, you're ruining everything, zombies. What? Hello? Is my arse not edible enough for you? Thank you. No sense of bloody etiquette, these zombies. I mean, I've used snubbing and social shunning on enemies before, but I never expected to be on the receiving end. I don't like how that feels. Bolt cutter. Ah! Ah! That's a cheap shot. Another thing added to this game is that when zombies grab you, stab them in the back, in the back, in the back, in the back. Love your tactics there, my dude, but oh, for fuck's sake. When zombies grab you, you have a brief second to fill up the X meter. Well, I guess that also clears my inventory a bit. And you, fellow police officer, who I hope I didn't know in real life, you have a brief second to mash X to fill up that bar. And if you don't do it up, you get bitten by the zombie. But if you do fill it up, you get bitten by the zombie. But apparently for no given reason, it takes slightly less damage. You think about what you did. For anybody listening with sound, that terrible rock music playing is another Easter egg. It's the original, very dated 90s ending credits music to Resident Evil 2. Not Resident Evil 3, that this game is. The game kind of takes a very scattershot approach with its Easter eggs, so it's a reference to something from the past. It doesn't matter what. Shut up. Fancy. What's in the box? It's Red Jewel. We'll think of a use for you. Do you know what? I don't think I actually need more ammo right now. Can't believe I'm saying that. And I'll take a herb to be on the safe side. Jill opens doors face first. And if I recall, outside here is... It's the monthly meeting of the Zombie Liberation Club. So those battery things, I don't think there's much science behind this. You shoot them and they send out some electricity and then give them some time to recharge, and you can basically just use that endlessly. Toy Uncle! With that guy on top. I mean, if that's the most creepy sounding toy shop imaginable, I don't know what it is. We'll check it out later. For now, Jill is carting around an entire fire hose in some part of her body. Do we get a little cutscene? Yeah. There's a brilliantly animated cutscene in the original of Jill wrestling with the fire hose, but and they did bring that back. So you know, I'm not. Credits to whichever poor team Capcom externally licensed to do this game. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's, now we can get into those places. Alright, that's the bolt cutters.
Is someone in here?
How do bolt cutters work? Like this. Exactly the same as the last game.
Here, UBCS?
Yeah, careful.
It's a character who did quite a lot in the original, even though he had a very noteworthy death.
No, wait, please!
That's all he gets in this game.
What the fuck?
He was infected.
He might have been infected.
Oh, stars, this soft. No wonder so many of you dead.
And what are you, UBCS? Killing your own people?
Oh, sick burn.
He would have turned. There's your sense of self-preservation.
I don't know, I get the feeling with Nikolai that the evil sneer is all the actor, it's not been put in later. And that was Nikolai, I wouldn't say villain for the game, but clearly not someone we're meant to like. He's a very kind of panto villainy kind of over the top with his evil Russian accent, and he does this with his face, and it's just great fun because the actor's clearly having a brilliant time. I mean, you know, he's chewing the scenery out like a champ, and it works. The original Nikolai was kind of the exact opposite. I'm going to go back the other way and start using the bolt cutters because I want that shotgun. The original Nikolai was a weird one because if you actually examine him in the game, he's like duplicitous and he's evil and he's like trying to kill Jill sometimes, but he literally never tells a lie. He sort of misleads people and he's far more subtle, but he's always very straightforward, very honest, and he's an interesting one. He's kind of an anti-Wesker in that respect, and they've gone the exact opposite direction in this game, which of the many changes I hate about this game, I actually do kind of think that works. What's the fancy box? I think it's another gem, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not sure why every shop has a gem in a box, but... Oh, thanks, P-Stuck. Would I want to become famous? I can buy my own followers. Well, that's the kind of following I want. I mean, who doesn't want the kind of friends you have to pay for on the internet? Actually, best not to think too hard about that statement. What we're going to do is I'm going to put all these jewels in the clock. And no. And are you catching rain? Have this. That's kind of hilarious. A lot of the brilliant zombie animations do carry over from the original, even if they are painfully simplified. Can I pull it off again? Oh, he didn't even lunge. If we were playing on the ridiculously hard difficulties, these areas would be swarming in late-game enemies that are super hard and basically impossible to fight. This is one that's carried directly over from the original. You have to go to all these different places and find all these different gems, and I guess it's kind of the same here. So there's a little wooden alcove down there, with no obvious way of like having any other doors or things to open it up, and yet for some reason, every time you put a jewel in, it opens up to reveal something completely different. Tactical stock for a shotgun we don't have. Well, I know where we're going next. Alright, we'll save the herbs. See, now we're running out of space a bit. Put that away for now as well. Red Siskin! Welcome! Adorable chibi anime girl with a wrench icon to you as well. It's inventory management time again. You know what? It's not a defensive item. I can dodge. Much as I've enjoyed stabbing zombies in the butt, stab them in the butt, then I think we can find our pleasure elsewhere. Boom! I was about to congratulate myself for doing that really well. This background gas station is another iconic location from the original, featuring puzzles and character decisions. And there you go. In this game, we can see it here and it pops up in the cutscene, and that's all you get for Resident Evil 3. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Wow! Oh Christ, that was smack bang into it. Yeah, no one to blame but myself. So where did you come from? Oh, okay. Aha! Where was I going? Yeah, see, I'm growing as a Twitch streamer. I'm nearly up to 20 followers now. I've got to the point where I can get, like, ads. Well, not ads, but people can be trying to sell me shit. Remember, scammers never try to sell you shit unless they think you've got some money to begin with. Where was I going? Where wasn't I going? Was this a lockpick or a chain? Yes. We don't have a lockpick yet. We'll have to come back here with a lockpick. And it is possible to ignore the bolt cutters, ignore the lockpick, and just like do the one key item and go. If you want to speedrun the game. If you're speedrunning the game, let's go ahead of the competition here. You can literally finish this game in less than an hour. Stab him. Oh wait, no! Shoot him in the butt, and so shoot him in the. Oh, was that a fatal butt shot? Damn! His butt's got some holes! Oh god, have I walked into the wrong door. Oh! Here, try this, it's chocolate flavoured! Wait. Oh, for fuck's sake. I love that I just couldn't see that because of the... Oh! Free hand grenade! Oh, well, that's what you call a refund. I just couldn't see that because of the darkness. 5 shotgun shells! We've got a shotgun stock and 9 shells. No shotgun. No shotgun, but you know we can throw them really hard. And Jill's holding her side. One kind of cool feature that they did add to this was in Resident Evil 2, you get a little thing flash up on screen when you took damage to show how much health you had left. In this one, you don't get that, which is annoying at first, but the colours on the control, I don't know if you can see that, you can't. The lights around here, it's blown out by the camera, change colour. So they're currently yellow, I can hear footsteps, to show that I'm on caution, and I can just look down at the control pad and see what my health is like, which is a little less convenient than, can I make it? Yeah! A little less convenient than just having it on screen where it should be, but I actually kind of like it. Now Jill's moaning orgasmically, nowhere nearly as badly as she did in Dead by Daylight, but yeah, she's getting a little too into this. So we don't have a lockpick yet. If you think you could shoot that lock off with a massive shotgun we're about to unveil, no. This is a game where you need keys to open wooden doors while you're carrying a grenade launcher. There's so much logic doesn't apply here. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. And that's it for the bolt cutters. Okay, that actually came about quicker than I thought. And we can already upgrade our shotgun to a better shotgun. Nice. So we're in a good place, I reckon. Let's press on, follow Nikolai. Oh, okay. Which way was I? Actually, I'll go this way. Easter egg, Eagle's Pet Shop. Eagle is a latter-day Street Fighter character. Honestly, I don't know much Street Fighter past the Super Nintendo era, but apparently Eagle is a character. And apparently, you can spot in the original Resident Evil 3 an Eagle's Pet Shop sign in the background. But I never did. Wait, what? There's another zombie up? Oh god, the guy who was excited about the hair product is back. To show us all how little hair he truly had. I mean, maybe before we took it he didn't have any hair on the sides. Maybe that's why he's so excited. He got some hair back. But yeah, that was unexpected. So that ladder we pushed down earlier, it's around here, isn't it? We can now take it to get to the electrical substation. Where the Nemesis, which is actually called the Nemesis in this game, in the original game it's called the Nemesis kind of like on the action figure box and the poster, but in game it's never actually given a name. Here it literally comes in a box with Nemesis written on it, so might as well have Hasbro written on it. Didn't realize I had a herb in my pocket all this time. Sorry, Jill. How many green herbs do those bum bruises need? Lockpick. So yes, things which had a good few minutes of importance in the original being reduced to a few seconds in this game is very much the part of the course. So, he was hired out of prison, was he? Yeah, so basically the upshot of this is the UBCS guys that Carlos, Nikolai and formerly Murphy here were part of were all, well, in many cases the former prisoners who are on death row that Umbrella just kind of hires. Nikolai's a lunatic, you say? We never would have thunk. Which kind of makes you wonder how our lovable hunk Carlos got in there. Because, what did he do to get himself in the kind of place where he's hanging out with all the murderers and rapists to begin with? This graffiti, very effective. It is literally just another thing that's an asset copy-pasted from the original. Well, not copy-pasted, they redrew it. Just dropped in the game to make nostalgia. A UBCS guy, what happened to you? Suicide note, yep. Nothing was as bad as this. He killed himself, and again, this is all kind of stuff that's been repurposed from the original somewhat effectively. Getting close to the substation. Oh, we know what that sound is. Ah, God, it's really hard. Oh. What? Oh, Christ. Get off my throat. I literally can't see through this darkness. There's the other one. Oh god, it's empty! Can I survive this? Wait, is the other one still up? No, it's a zombie. Oh Christ, where is it? Where is it? That was close. I think one more hit and I'm wiped out. Do I have any... No. So... Yeah. Remember what I said in RE2 how the HDR is completely broken and it just blows out all the darkness so you can see everything? That's not the case here. I'm genuinely struggling to see, not just because I have a light in my face. We've got to play it very carefully now, because if I peg it here... Wait, what? Okay, I'm just clearing the way. I'm not even gonna... Sometimes ammo is secondary to health concerns. Christ. I think even in this game they kept the whole zombie movie thing of, you gotta shoot them in the head! And when you put your like 17th or 18th bullet in their heads and they're still walking, you kind of go, really? Really? You gotta shoot them in the head, do you? You gotta? Okay. Oh, a green herb, the kind I can't eat without a... No, a red herb, the kind I can't eat without a green herb. But we made it to the substation, and boy, was it worth it. I just want to read this verbatim. In response to the violent outbreaks across the city, we have implemented an intentional power outage. Does that sound like it's helping or hurting? If your city is in serious, serious trouble, killing all the power is your solution. Because nothing makes fear go away like complete darkness and powerlessness. Was there even a virus outbreak here, or was this just bad planning? Hello. Hip pouch. Because it's hip to pouch. Anything in here that I'm going to want to... No, I think if I recall... So here's a map of an area with something highlighted, something else highlighted, something highlighted, and something highlighted. It might make more sense to put them all on one map with 4 marks on, rather than 4 copies of the same map with 4 marks on, but hey. We are here.
Oh, it smells like... Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
So, yeah, I can't even begin to imagine what this smells like. I don't want to be honest. That's what we want. Hold on a sec, I might get a twofer.
If only I had my lockpick.
Yeah, Master of Unlocking, where's your... Oh. Okay, we're going to have to start wasting handgun bullets to open those, but you know, I spent 1 to get 10 back, that's a net gain. We haven't got space for the knife. It's another ornate box. So, yeah, in case you haven't guessed, we're doing the whole things bursting out of people's bodies again. Would have been a bit more effective if Resident Evil 2 hadn't just done that, but here we are. And no, don't combine. Oh, no. Some of these things don't need to be in boxes, it's just an extra step. And it's a lockpick! Why would a man be holding a box with a lockpick in it in a power station? They've actually thought to write that in. Because they lost the key. So instead of until they get a replacement key, they're giving the employees a literal lockpick to pick their way into work. And they've only got 1. So, yes, this sparks an interesting little subsection of the game with a particularly interesting intro movie. What could that be? Jill, you should know well enough to look up. Do you remember the spiders in the first game? Can't fall on your ass now, can you? And yeah. So she's gone from... Hang on. Oh god, what's happening? Will this work? That's a new addition. Fucking gross. I'd say that's a bit of an underreaction to what happened there. But she's gone from falling on her ass to being forcibly mouth raped by bugs. To which, if you look at her facial expression, she looks curiously uninterested. They couldn't do that in the original. These were basically the next level of enemy, kind of like little hunters, which started stalking the streets after a certain point to balance the difficulty. Here they're relegated to just this one section. And they're animating very jerkily, not for artistic reasons, but just because the game isn't particularly well optimized. And if they do mouth rape you, you can wipe out the bugs inside you with a green herb immediately. If not, then you'll get bursted out. Whoa! They do go down very easily, to be fair. But they do come out of the walls and the woodwork, and it's very dark. And so a show of how the game kind of goes from a bit too easy to a bit too hard as soon as you change difficulties. The game will just plaster you with green herbs in this section in case you might hurt yourself. This is one of the 4 marks we need to restart the thing. Ah. Yep, sucks to be him. Chad. He's a literal Chad. Can't check on your mouth till you checked all the breakers. So if you thought Jill's weirdly muted reaction to being mouth raped and impregnated was strange, this guy's first thought was to literally write it in his journal. Managed to get away. Again, trade 1 for 10, that's good maths. And again, this is lovely, but it's very similar to that sewer section in RE2, which does kind of kill the atmosphere. Also, these creatures are only ever seen in this section, meaning they're like everything else, they've got a severely reduced presence in this game from the original. How long is this game? It depends how you play it, Red Siskin. I'm kind of going the completionist route to get a full stream out of it, but if you can skip a lot of this and speedrun it, and I can speedrun the game comfortably in about 50 minutes. It's a short one. I mean, I'm joking about how the game's giving me a lot of green herbs, but I am getting through the handgun ammo pretty quickly. It's short, and like Resident Evil 2 is about the same length, probably a bit longer, and then you can play it as the other character, and then you can play the A campaign as the B character and just get... And, yeah, so you basically get 4 campaigns, admittedly very similar ones, with unlockables and extra game modes and all kinds of cool stuff. This game, there's nothing. There's 3 extra costumes, I think one of which is the main costume. This says 1 extra costume. I've missed one of these, haven't I? And yeah, when you finish the main campaign, there's extra difficulty modes. Oh, Spider Sense. That's it. There's not much value for money. They did include, whenever you buy this, you got a free download of the multiplayer game they made called Resistance, which isn't... Oh god, I'm getting mouth raped again. Again, Jill looks, if anything, like she's kind of enjoying it. And... choke it down, girl, choke it down. There you go, there you go. Like a supermodel. Actually, yeah, they actually got a professional model to be Jill's voice, face, fuck's sake, face actress, and I'm not doing too well. What the f... And having her, like, voluntarily vomiting might be an unfortunate comment on the eating situation. Out! And I'm like... Okay, that's my last healing thing, so if I get mouth raped now, I'm screwed. This went to hell fast. Right. There will be no bugs outside the designated insect area. That went badly. I did not play well there. Oh, what's this? Chad again. Oh, okay, I missed this. The note about green herbs being the antidote to the bugs.
Okay. All that leaves is the main power switch.
Yeah, you're doing fine, Jill. You're doing fine. Is there a typewriter up here?
Enjoy.
But I'm not expecting this to be too long a stream. I've massively underestimated how long it would have taken me to play the previous games. Because I thought, oh yeah, Resident Evil 2 is not too long. I'll be done in 2 streams, and it took like 4. So I'm hoping to get to, as I was saying earlier, I'm going to play this until the point where Resident Evil 2 begins. Because this game, most of it takes place before Resident Evil 2, and then there's a time jump to after Resident Evil 2. So I'm going to play it up until the beginning of Resident Evil 2, then play the other side, the Leon campaign in Resident Evil 2 to finish that game, then come back and finish this game, and just sort of do everything so you get the story in proper canonical order. Not that this is like where you come to get the full cinematic Resident Evil experience or anything, but just because that seems like the best way of playing everything as it should be played.
Next up is the traffic control system. It should be in the subway company's offices.
Right. I think I know the building.
Really? Way to go, partner. One step ahead.
Not your partner.
That's one of those annoying, the characters talking during the cutscene, so we're going to slow you down to walking pace whether you like it or not, bitch, moments. So now all we have to do is run back the way we came and get to the subway office uninterrupted. Yes, uninterrupted. Oh yeah! Yeah. Nemesis naturally can't be killed. One of the most iconic enemies in video game history. But you can stun him and get a supply crate. In the original game, Nemesis is one of the best implemented things ever put in a horror game. In this game, no. He pops up for like 2 sections. This is one of them. And that's kind of it, which is a real tragedy because people love Nemesis. Nice, now we can put more bullets in our handgun. A lot more bullets.
Carlos! That thing is still alive! It's after me!
Yes, but I'm going to walk very slowly while I talk about it.
Not until I get traffic control online.
Lockpick. Master of unlocking. Get lots of cool shit. Oh, we need that. But yes, technically this is a Nemesis chase sequence, and Nemesis is chasing us, and he's pretty intelligent. At least he was. We actually do want to go to the toy store as well, if I think about it. Oh god, he's back! Christ, that's the worst possible timing. Oh. Tick tock, tick tock. Am I dead? I'm dead? Okay, not sure why I'm dead, but... should have been able to tank a zombie hit. Did I have less health than I thought I did? Don't send me back too far, I can't remember if this is the mode that requires typewriter. Oh no, we're just here. Oh. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, only on the hardest mode do you have to save, like the hardest modes. On most modes it's pretty forgiving, which I'm more or less okay with. It does very much take the survival element out of survival horror, but when you get cheat moves like that, it's kind of like... Right, toy store. Also, has Nemesis forgotten that he's following us? I'm not complaining, but sure. Yeah, Nemesis is legendary. In the first game you never knew when he'd pop up. He was randomized, so he could pop up absolutely anywhere. He was intelligent. Sometimes he turned up with a rocket launcher. He broke the rules. The thing is, as we saw in the original, in Resident Evil 1 and 0, the rules were you click on a door, you watch a very slow door opening animation, and then you're in a safe zone. But Nemesis was the first ever enemy to break those rules, and you didn't know until you played the game. Oh. Oh, I've just pressed the wrong button to dodge, even though I know... I'm dead again! Okay. 2 hits, neither of which I could see because the camera was pointing in the wrong direction. Well, you know, we don't have to go back that far. And again, death is pretty painless in this game, which means it's not really much of an issue. But I remember my first ever Resident Evil was Resident Evil 2 on the N64 when it came out in 1999. And they were doing this thing, which kind of happens again with the GameCube, where by the time the sequels to games came out, Nintendo's consoles weren't selling enough and they didn't release them on that console. So I thought Resident Evil 2 is on the N64, Resident Evil 3 is going to be coming out for sure, right? And it came out on PlayStation, and I was like, okay, just keep waiting. And it never came out, And then my friend was like, yeah, I got Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation. Do you want to come around to my house and play it? And he phoned me up to say, on a landline, because this was before mobile phones. And he said, get around to my house, I've got Resident Evil 3, you got to come around to... So I remember running, and I was a fat kid, so running for me was a big deal. Running over to his house, playing Resident Evil 3, and we kind of took it in turns. He was very charitable to let me play Resident Evil 3, like, even though he hadn't played it yet, and we were sort of going from death to death to death. And we were in the RPG. Right, you forgot me. We were in the RPG, and Nemesis makes an appearance in the RPG in the original to surprise us all. I got his Nemesis. We ran to a door, got through, phew, made it. Stepped away from the door, and then... Yeah, nice choice, Nemi. And then, bam, Nemesis came through the door, and all 3 of us, like 3 boys, just screamed involuntarily. Because we genuinely didn't expect it, that, oh shit, this thing can go through doors? That's a game changer. Oh, come on, I've lost my dodge ability. I also seem to have... Yeah, that zombie took me from fine health to danger, which, like, 10 minutes ago I was going from fine to caution. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, and that was the first taste of Nemesis. He would stalk you here, he'd stalk you there. He was randomized as to where he wouldn't appear. Sometimes he'd turn up with a rocket launcher with no explanation, and yeah, suddenly a Resident Evil enemy shooting back at you, which was like, what? And he'd have some set chase sections, like you go into one place and be chased out by Nemesis. In this section, this is really the only Nemesis chase sequence, and as you can tell, he's not too... I mean, he disappeared because we went into a safe room, and now he's just kind of gone until he clearly has a scripted re-entrance. Actually, if we go around the other way and don't go through the little courtyard, let's see if he still turns up. I'll unwrap this later. Boing. Alright. Don't feed on the ground. But yeah, Nemesis appeared down there before, so let's go over this way. Break the chain. And again, like RE2, the zombies stay where you killed them. Oh my god! Yeah, one of the drawbacks to the whole third-person thing is you just don't have the situational awareness to see where he is anymore. Oh shit! Oh! Hello darkness, you're not my friend. Open the fucking door. Fighting the zombie. Oh crap. Man, that's pretty blind.
Okay, back again.
I hear him.
Carlos, I'm in the control room. Now what?
Okay.
Nice. Now you gotta plot out a route.
Okay, give me a sec.
But first, I've got to open this thing. Nemesis is a bit like Mr. X, where he has a very particular sense of etiquette and just won't enter certain rooms. Yeah.
Alright, where are we headed?
The train is stopped at Redstone Street. We need to reach Fox Park Station. Can you program that in?
Hey, I'm Super Cop. Consider it done.
New... That's one... Was it two? Two? That's going to take us down to... is RE Raccoon? No, it'd be RA's Raccoon Central, then St. Michael's Clock Tower... then Fox Park. So 1, then it says 2. 1 again? 2, that doesn't look right. 1.
Unable to establish
Okay.
route. Please try again.
So the first one was right, the second one's wrong. So it's 2. Oh, 3 and 2. Is it 3? 1, 2, 3, 2.
Valid route confirmed.
There we go.
Carlos, it's me. I finished inputting the subway route.
Jill, you are amazing. Tough as nails. Hurry back to the station.
I-
We'll make sure the subway's
I
ready
lack
to
the language skills to find another way to say it, that in the original, there was a whole bunch of puzzles like this, some of which were nightmarishly difficult, some of which were really well designed. They came up at every opportunity. That's one of the 2 puzzles in this game. Also, oh, Christ, these things I hate. Now, these things are a genuinely new addition for the remake. And they're terrible. Because they can whip you from like 6 miles away, and they're really hard to, very specific to kill. Where's Nem-I-Sis? Hey, I dodged that one. Alright, well that's my last aid spray, so oh wait, no, there's an item box back here, isn't there? And a lockpick, so free stuff. No. Have I missed any lockpick doors? I can't remember. Hand grenade! We know how Nemi doesn't like hand grenades. I'm looking for you. Just in case. Right, we're nearly done.
What the hell is it doing to them?
Have that. Oh. Oh, another supply crate, thanks. Ow. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh god, in the dark you can't even see the tentacles. There we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. If we were playing this on hard mode, those tentacle zombies would be abso-bloody-lutely everywhere. No time for your nonsense. Including right outside this door we need to get to. Oh, there is one. But, yeah, I'm breathing heavily too, Jill. Oh, we got some presents. Yet another gem for the clock, and... a moderator, which is kind of like a silencer. Only 6 bullets. Oh shit, you might be right. Yeah, but look at our sweet handgun. What we got? Do you know what? They can be as cheap as they like. We got the skills. We got the talent. We got 5 handgun bullets left. Oh, the skills and the talent aren't going to be enough. We're going to die. I'm not going to use that hit pouch because I'm not going to use the cheats I've got. But I am going to use this gunpowder to restock my... there we are. Restock my pockets. Okay. There we go. How'd you like that, stingy Capcom developers? Right. Oh, the hit pack I was avoiding picking up. Alright. I mean, they're always useful. I don't think we've got any... Do I have any more health items? So I don't want to use my 1 health item and then go in. We don't, you know. Do you know what? Let's live a short, healthy life rather than a long, painful one. And also, let's open this. Please be health, please be health, please be health. We could do some health. Oh, I can never pretend to be disappointed to find shotgun shells. I mean, it's Christmas next month. If I open every present and it's just a box of Steel Boys, I'll be happy. I don't even have a shotgun. We don't even have guns in England. I'll eat the damn things.
Cop. I'm impressed.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, mostly. But we need 30 to 40 minutes to finish maintenance.
Okay, Nemi will hang on.
Nikolai, how are we doing?
The town's crawling with those freaks. No chance of fighting.
I do enjoy Nikolai.
Why is she here?
She's helping get the trains running again.
That time to start carrying dead weight for it. She's unreliable.
That villain sneer.
Take it easy.
She'll get you killed.
Again, not as subtle as he was in the original, as with Brian Irons in RE 2, but for me it works.
Oh, come on. Not again.
Who would have thought a flimsy metal shutter wouldn't have stopped him? Let's try this flimsy metal shutter, that'll keep him out.
Hey, I'll buy you some time.
Hey, wait! Wait, Joe! No!
Now the most iconic line from the original.
Come on, you creepy ass stopper. You want stars? I'll give you stars.
What a weird place to deploy that iconic line, but there it is. I mean, before that ended the whole game. It was a big heroic crescendo, and here it's like, yeah, we'll just throw it in somewhere, I guess, whatever. Oh, lordy. Jill. Nemesis is very obligingly waiting for this cutscene to play out. Come on, girl. That's... I mean, I do enjoy these Nemesis sections, I just wish there was more of them. That a girl. Look at how scuffed up she is, I bet she just misses the bruised arse of the original now.
Carlos, do you copy? Carlos? Oh, shit. Oh, I need to find another way out.
Now I know what you're thinking. When we had a great time playing Resident Evil 2, when we got to the bit where we were wading in poo in the sewers, and we all loved it, I bet we all thought the one thing Resident Evil 3 needs is more literal shit. Well, Capcom got you covered, friendo, because we are once again wading through the literal shit of Raccoon City. Increased security down here. Because who doesn't want to break in and steal all the poo? Special made battery pack. Which will go in here. So we're going to have to go swimming in poo to get the battery pack. I think before we jump in, I'm just going to take a 60-second break to do my own bathroom things. Get a drink, talk amongst yourselves, where you're from. What are your opinions on highly contentious issues that offend lots of people? Come on, exchange ideas, I'll be right back. Okay, where were we? I'm just going to assume you haven't all gone to the bathroom as well, because it's going to get pretty crowded in there. And let's go back through the river of shit. And someone's thermos. Don't care how good the coffee is in that. Oh, put your hands in it, Jill. Lovely.
I'm definitely burning these clothes.
There we go. So yeah, it's an honest-to-God sewer level. There was a brief sewer section in the original, but it's literally just to sort of press 2 buttons and leave. Of all the things you could add to a game, a fucking sewer level. But here we are, and here's a very nice-looking sewer level with some good stuff in it. Whoa! Oh, throw it, you bitch! Throw it! Oh crap. I don't really have the armaments for this.
What the fuck was that?
These things look fantastic. They've got this little vestigial chicken wings. And like the eye, oh god, that's got like a tongue, a mouth within a mouth with its own mouth and teeth. So, yeah, in the first game, in the original, they were variants and hunters, and they're still referred to as hunters here, but they've been completely redesigned. And I've got to say, these things look great. I love those things. They're brilliant horror movie monsters. Like the Ivies in the first game, they took the core concept and just redesigned it from the ground up. Explosive. Oh, they've been researching the poo. Read some tank for the first time. Now able to move quickly and swallow prey whole. I've said before, the most chilling stuff in Resident Evil is just sort of the cold, clinical facts. Oh, they've smuggled specimens out because Umbrella shut them down. It's a random mad scientist, Dr. Logan Carlyle. He's living in the sewers making monsters. All specimens are familiar with and friendly towards us. It's weird to think of those monsters having owners that they just stroke them. What's that? Secured high-powered weaponry in the event they become uncontrollable. Beginning to feel cramps due to the Gamma's continued growth. How big can they get? Which means... Gun shop Kendo? We saw that briefly, didn't we? Yeah, Claire went past it in Resident Evil 2, and it is an iconic location from Resident Evil 2. And the stockist to the stars. And that's how you make the various rounds, because, oh yes, it's Jill's old friend, the MGL grenade launcher. And not a moment too soon. So now we are very, very well armed. Although we've only got 2 grenades, I think. Oh. Yeah. Okay. How'd you like the taste of this? Oh god. What are you doing in there? You shook it off? Alright, 1 grenade, 1 shotgun shell. And one of the things they didn't lose since the... Oh, there's even smoke coming off it. God, the charred flesh and... What must it smell like in there? Not exactly a Timotei commercial, but let's get her hair washed in the poo. And Jill doesn't even flinch. Girl's hardcore. Not opening a box with a grenade hardcore, that's stupid core. I'm going to have to be careful what I pick up here. What did you die of? Recycled acid from the gun shop? Again, in this situation, he's pinned down in the sewers, cornered under poo. He's still writing a diary. That's about as Resident Evil as it gets. One of those things just ... swallowed him whole, head to toe. We've spoken before about how people write in the same cadence at which normal people speak in Resident Evil. Bill had a baby coming, but now he's Hunter Poo. Gonna hit it right in his big ugly mouth. Well, we've been hitting it in this big ugly mouth, and it's worked pretty well. Remember, kids, the solution? Grenade launcher. We only have one grenade left. Do you need a shotgun shell as well? Because shotgun shells I got, buddy. Shotgun shells I got. Yep, stop dancing. Yeah, that's it. Shake it off, shake it off. Here's your dessert. The bad news is that was our last one. Last grenade, that is. So, I think that's what was scientifically known as the nick of time. Lovely realistic poo effects courtesy of the RE engine. Send your thank you notes to Capcom for that one. There's always an underground lab, isn't there? And a 90s CRT monitor. That's another thing I don't like about Jill's generic action hero redesign, is that it doesn't look particularly 90s. Oh, bum. If I pick that up, I'm going to be in trouble, aren't I? Okay, here's high-grade gunpowder, which I'm going to start doing some item juggling. If I pick that up and combine that with that, yes. Can we have our cake and eat it? Do I still have... I would have ditched the lockpick had I remembered, so it's a good thing I'm an idiot. Explosives. Can I make more flame rounds? Can I fit these in? Yeah, we can store our flame rounds in there. Good. Gunpowder. I think we're good for gunpowder. I'll have a herb wherever I can. I'll have a love letter? To me? Oh, to many people. Your adorable little bodies brimming with incredible destructive power. I'd love to do an ASMR video of this letter. The pinnacle of the Hunter series. The ones in the RE1 were scarier. So what if you're susceptible to heat? We noticed. We had some fun with that one. I wonder whatever happened to Dr. Logan Carlyle. Eaten by his own monsters? And this is the battery pack we need to get out. So we are now, we've gone from not being too well off at all to being suspiciously well armed. Where am I going again? It can't be this way because there's nowhere to go. That's the poo shower. I mean, it's all the poo shower. Ah. And we'll do the usual flame round followed by shotgun chaser. Dramatic little bitch, aren't you? And boom. That's enough. I'll give the hunter gamblers this, they're reliable. Alright, who's next? Okay. Well, I complained about the sewer section before because it's a sewer section which is always boring. But these are good enemies. I do like that. And it's short enough to be inoffensive. I mean, it's one of the few areas where this game's very short nature works in its favour. But it's a bit like the whatever they were called, the mouth rape bugs. They've taken iconic video game enemies which from the original, which had like a really good place in upping the difficulty curve, and just kind of cordoned them off in their own little sections. And since the game's already little sections, it's just kind of makes the whole thing feel a bit insubstantial. Eol. This is not bloody raccoon milk again. I'm just picturing raccoons hooked up to milking machines. Yeah, we got plenty. We got plenty for you. Yep. Look, we know the dance by now. It's not funny or scary anymore. And you've gone. There we go. Simple lock. Now this is open. We can have our battery pack back. Yeah, you can lock that door. We don't need your stupid door. We've got this door. More poo. Guess you want more poo. Just so typically 90s that battery pack is like the size of her leg. Always have that. Candy! Can we pick up the can? Nope. Anything else in here? Explosive powder. That's pretty useful right now. We'll take the gunpowder. We've got a hit pouch. Oh, what are you reading? They killed him again. Creator's right. So that's a bit of a touchy. What was that? Louisiana. That's got to be a holdover piece from Resident Evil 7. I know we're jutting up and down the sort of technology spectrum as we follow the games in canonical order, but Resident Evil 7 introduced the RE engine, which RE2 and 3 were built out of. Not RE2, when I said we saw the stuffed alligators in the orphanage, they recycled assets from Resident Evil 7, and there's a lot of that. All these games kind of share the same assets until we get to... Oh, I forgot the bloody...
Looks like it needs a power source.
I know, Jill. No, it needs a power source. I just forgot to pick it up. Sure feels good to be dripping in weapons. Okay. Now let's get out of the poo. Now I think it's another Resident Evil universe etiquette thing that even though every character seems to spend ages swimming around in sewage and that stuff sticks, no one ever comments on the fact that anyone smells like poo. Fuck it. I think we can stay put. Okay.
Carlos, can you hear me now?
Jill. Oh, thank God. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm alive. I lost him.
Great. The subway's ready to go. We'll leave as soon as you make it back.
Yeah, lost that sucker. No way he's going to find us now. Oh my God! And he's got her by the skull. All he has to do is close his fist and completely... Oh no, he's just going to throw her harmlessly over there. Okay, thanks, Nemi. It's like you just had her in your hand. You just threw her aside to kill her in a completely different way. Why would you... I mean, chances are that thing just shoots confetti. Yeah, because we all know that Nemesis can't possibly get through those twice. So yeah, I commented before about how it was the shock in the original version of this when he suddenly pulled out the rocket launcher. This time he's got that, and he's got this flamethrower. He's got a whole armament section. Where he gets it is never actually explained, but he's got him. He's got him. All right, let's not using any of the cheat weapons. I'm going to be a good boy. Because you shouldn't use cheat weapons in Resident Evil. It's in the Bible. Jesus wrote that. Let's... You know, I'm happy with that. I like that. Don't walk on the cloth because that's a slip hazard. Health and safety. Health and safety. Yeah, as you were. And... Oh, I've lost my dodge ability. You know what? Oh boy. Any chance I could... Jill, take your clothes off, bear with me, switch them with a zombie and see if it fools him. Find a female zombie with dark hair, put your stupid Lara Croft costume on him. Oh yeah, we need to push the planks down because that's the only way Jill could have jumped this. What a weird choice. I mean, can you just animate a little jump for her? Would it be less effort? And you may have noticed that the Nemesis often has his little tentacles swishing around. In the original, Nemesis barely used his tentacles at the beginning of the game, until after a big fight, you damaged him so much his jacket got burned off, so he's kind of like a shirtless, malformed version of himself with like exposed tentacles. Which was good, because it showed that it was like a visual storytelling way of showing that Jill was doing as much damage to the Nemesis as it was doing to her psychologically. And they kind of had this parallel kind of thing going on. In this version, nah, he just kind of whips out his tentacles from the beginning and that's all just taken out. Hey, look, we can see where we were. Let's not, though. Oh, you can jump that hole. You can jump that hole. Don't pull that Nathan Drake bullshit with me. It's just funny, it was such a rush job and they cut so many corners, but they had two completely different traversal animations for tiny little gaps which are only used in this one specific instance. Who was planning this? So there's nothing in here, is there, that we need? Nah. Oh. Generators are on the roof for safekeeping. We have had good luck with generators. And the roof. All right.
All right, let's do this. Maybe I can hit the fuel tank.
Is your AI fucking up because you're not really reacting? Ah! Alright, Jill, come on, stop fannying about. Oh boy. Yep. Yeah, all electrical generators and fucking grenade rounds have been moved to the roof for safekeeping. Very, very safe. It's exactly where building professionals need to keep their grenades. Ah. Oh wait. Woof. That thing is not popping. Oh. Hold still for a second, will you? Oh boy.
Still kicking?
Oh boy. Oh no! There we go. Oh, he's dodging my bloody... I'm wasting bullets on this guy. It's all a bit low frills, but... Oh, he's got doubles. Am I dead? Okay. Oh god, I'm empty. I'm dead! Oh wait, no! Am I dead? Am I not... Wow, Jill's pretty fucking hardcore. I'm out of those. Oh. Yeah, stars. You want stars? I did that line. I'm taking so much damage in this run. So, for safety, they've moved all the generators to the roof, stored a bunch of grenades up there, and rigged the entire building to explode. I suppose that rigging the building to explode is what they do. What a really cool, interesting action scene that I have no interactivity with whatsoever. No, I actually do enjoy these sections. Yeah. Makes the 4 arse bruises you got in the first game look positively conservative by comparison. And we finally killed the Nemesis once and for all. Wait, what's that?
Carlos, it's Jill. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. You all right?
Yeah, I'm covered in poo.
Bastard's dead.
Good. Fuck him. What were you thinking? Turning yourself into bait. You could have been killed.
Don't
Oh my god, he's right. We could have been
I
killed.
did what I had to.
I know. And thanks.
You're welcome.
The subway's ready to go. Hurry back.
Don't tell me what to do. And there's the substation and the rapey statue. I don't say this often, but one thing I do like about this game is they've added stuff like that. So, hey, it's Stars, it's us. Stars had vans. I never knew Stars had vans. And hey, do you remember an embarrassingly long time ago when we played Resident Evil 2 Remake? This would have looked more familiar if we played as Leon and could explore it, but it's the Raccoon City Police Department, where we spent so much time. And where Jill works. What?
We've located 3 injured civilians. Transporting to Spencer Memorial now.
Allegedly, that's a reference to Outbreak. I've never played Outbreak.
This is 153. I'm trapped in North Garden with 3 civilians. West side, cafeteria, back of the kitchen.
But yeah, this is the gate that Claire had to go all around the station looking for an access card to unlock. And Jill's former workplace. In Resident Evil 3 Original, you could explore the RPD as Jill, going back to see her former colleagues zombified and exploring her former office and having thoughts about her former life and getting a good insights to her character. In this version, no. This is it. You go to the RPD because they could recycle that from the last game, but as Carlos, for some reason, who has no connection to anything and therefore is far less interesting. Why would they choose to do this? Who the fuck knows? But here we are. Oh look, Gunshot Kendo, as Claire saw the other day. And actually, at this point, as Leon has... No, wait, Leon hasn't appeared yet, because we're in canonical order now. Oh boy. And that's where Claire went to the orphanage to get Sherry, up those stairs. Yeah, Gunshot Kendo. So, in the RE2 remake, I ran this way and looked up there and mentioned that a building wasn't there. This, not just because it's not on fire, this building literally isn't there in the RE2 remake. Why they didn't go back and quickly patch it in, because apparently these games are very successful and they could just like do some updates to them. It would have been a great little like canonical update to make the two work together. But they didn't, so yeah, the wonderful opportunity in remaking these games to have them connect in ways the originals never possibly could has just been squandered. They just didn't. That's the experience of playing these games. But thankfully we're having fun. And I just realised we've only got 1 shotgun shell left. But we've got such a shotgun. Oh, and it comes with 6 shells! Score! Look at our massive shotgun now. It's preposterously big. Yeah, Jill, you look proud holding that shotgun. Can we combine this with something? We're kind of hurting for ammo at this point. Don't even have a full handgun clip. Without spoiling anything, remember this counter. Remember that counter. Because one little update that was added to RE2 to go along with this game. Oh god, who are you?
Kendo, you're all right.
Judy, you can hear us!
Sorry, I got a little jumpy.
And Robert Kendo.
Didn't know quite what to expect.
No shit. Look, we're using the subway to get people out of town. You in?
Subway. Well, that's good thinking.
Why are you looking toward that door, Kendo? Hey, Anna, mother of cats! I appreciate that you're a mother of cats, and that you have many underscores in your name like me.
Just bad timing is all.
How many cats are you mother to, Anna?
Look, don't worry about me. I'm gonna make other arrangements, okay?
You better. You're the best gunsmith around.
Oh, no.
Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, Kendo.
That's
I mean,
job, right?
4 cats! That's a lot of cats. Kenzo, where are you going?
Take care, Jill.
Okay, he's probably going to do something stupid. That's a lot of cats to be mother to. You are a hard-working mother, Anna. Hats off to you. Why am I in a box? Oh, yeah.
If you're heading to the station, take that service alley out in front of the shop, okay? The key's hanging on the wall.
Sam, Dean, Pippa, Hellcat. Hang on. What's going on in there?
It's all right, Pumpkin. It's all right. That's a good girl.
We won't ask any questions to what Kento's doing in there, but we will be back. Yeah, I can't help but note you've got 3 cats with like normal people names, and one's called Hellcat. What did Hellcat do to deserve the one scary name in an otherwise normal litter of cat names? Or is he actually like, does he have little horns or something? It just Hellcat's the one that stands out to me from that particular description, and I feel there's a story there. Okay, there we go. I mean, look at this. I've got one handgun. You know what? Party time. There you go. That was for me. Scratched, hissed, growled, bitten, and spitted at you for 2 months. Wow, and you didn't just boot it across the room. You are a good cat mum. You are a very good cat mum. I've got no health, have I? It just suddenly occurred to me I'm about to go leave Kenzo behind and I've got no health at all. Alright people, this could get hairy, so strap on. Strap in. That's the RPD. Say goodbye to the RPD. Oh, you tamed Hellcat. I mean, 2 months of that, she bloody well should sleep on your back. That's rewarding. So presumably you got her as a kitten. Oh, continuity fans. We can't climb over garbage because garbage is indestructible. Oh my lord! And there's another one back there. You stay down. Stray adult, okay. Well, she's probably had some trauma there. Ugh. This is the way to the orphanage from RE2, but we're not going there because of the garbage. But this way was blocked by garbage in RE2, so now we can go this way. Yeah, it sounds like she's had some bad experiences. And she's lucky to have found you. We've got a few Hellcats in our area, but No. Well, hopefully your other cats weren't nearly as traumatic. HDR, HDR, can't see shit cause the HDR. So we talked about these things earlier. You can probably guess which bit you're supposed to shoot. It's the glowing eyeball, but when you aim at it, their spider sense kicks in and they cover themselves up. So the only way to get it out is to knock them onto their knees. I said knock them onto their knees. Oh, screw it. Knock them onto their knees. And then shoot the thing off their heads while they're downed. Very annoying. Very dangerous in massive numbers. Rescue from a sewer? Where are you finding these cats? I mean, it's a good thing, but it just feels like there's some absolutely traumatic things happening out there. You're like a cat psychologist at this point. I think you could upgrade from cat mum to cat doctor. Letters to the editor. No, he doesn't like the toy uncle. Oh, the giant rapey head on the toy uncle is something that might fall loose at any time. That's yeah, it probably won't come up again. Yeah, I'm guessing you must volunteer for a rescue centre, otherwise I'm guessing they don't just come to your house or anything, but that's a lot of cats. I mean, is there a limit? Is 4 the limit? Are you just like open to an infinite number of cats? How many cats before you can't take care of the cats anymore? It's like... It just seems like I can't imagine saying no to a cat, but that's a lot to take on. I mean, 4 cats is almost equivalent to 1 human baby. I was just saying that, yeah, I mean, the expense alone. Oh, do you want to see a nice little touch? If we look over there where that light is, it's kind of hard to see from here, you can actually see little bits of the basketball court and like the wire fence that Claire went by on the way to the... Claire will go by tomorrow. But we can't get over there, we're going this way. And if you go over there as Claire and look this way, you can't see it this way. €200 a month! Oh, shit! Whoa, he survived that? And started... Ah, and there's the rocket launcher. It makes more sense that he's got this ultra high-tech rocket launcher. Ah, God! But I kind of like... In the original, it was just like a rusty tube, and it looked a lot more kind of gross. Ow. Oh, stun locked. So you can't open your inventory when you're staggering about, and if his first hit stun, he basically stuns you into getting a second hit, and it's like a 2-hit, 1-hit kill. Never mind. I'm from London, as is Julie. Who's also a cat enthusiast. Yeah, euros. I'm guessing you're in Europe, or you're in a very strange part of the world that uses euros as a currency from outside of Europe. But yeah, so is it it can't be €200 a month per cat. Italy! Nice. I've never been to Italy. It's been on my must-go list for so long, and then the whole COVID thing struck and travel plans kind of got knackered. Just to run up here uninterrupted. Oh, for silly luck. Do you know what, Nemi? No, you... No, fine.
Rocket launcher? Really?
Oh, Christ. If I'm missing comments, I apologise. I've got running to do. Oh. So not only does Nemesis let me go repeatedly, he actually kills zombies for me. I'm not sure he really does want me dead. How many rockets have you got? Oh. What? Oh. So yeah, it's €200 in total a month, right? It's not €200 per cat. Because I don't own a cat. I don't know how much they cost. Because yeah, that would be, yeah, in total I was thinking what, like €800 a month, which is... Julie's definitely the catty one in the relationship because she's a professional cat looker after her. I'm more of just like an admirer. I haven't had cats in my house for about at least 30 years. Nemesis's rockets do surprisingly little damage. I mean, Jill just had a rocket launcher go off in her face and she's fine. Girl is made of Teflon. Okay, well there you go, Julie. Cat sitting is kind of like a gateway drug. Yeah, as in eventually the sitting isn't enough. You're going to want to adopt. You're going to want to keep them. Before you know it, €200 a month. Oh, I never realised you could see the building, the side of the building that we were in before. Again, I do love the little touches of geography in this game. It's makes it feel real.
To you?
It's okay. Trust me.
We trust you, Carlos. You big hunk of a man. Oh god, yeah, you were about to volunteer, weren't you? Hey, it's the rapey statue again, thankfully. Hey, wait, what did that memo say earlier?
This is insane.
Now this, sometimes I just drop dead because I get unlucky. Whoa! Again, a very cool set piece, if a little more Uncharted than Resident Evil. Oh god, he's got problems as well. This is just... Wait, did he drop another case? Yeah, he dropped another supply case. I'm just stealing. Again, Nemesis is intimidating, but I feel like I'm mugging him. What do we get? I want that now. Because, yeah, the vet bills... Oh, that wasn't really worth it. Oh, well. Vet bills and things are serious business. I mean, one of the big things that puts me off animals is just how much... You got it, Carlos. We're not going this way anymore? Oh, God. Another iconic Resident Evil 3 location reduced to a mere flashby in a cutscene. Pretty cool cutscene, though. No, this is a game I know. I have actually platinumed it, which requires superhuman effort because the ending is completely broken on harder difficulties. I know it reasonably well. It's not amongst my favourite Resident Evils, but I'm doing the whole series. You're part of the complete series playthrough. We've done 0, 1 and 2. After this we're going to do 2 because we played Claire, then we did Leon, and then we're going to finish this because we didn't do it in canonical order. Then I've got to play Code Veronica again, and at some point I get to play Resident Evil 4, which I love. Outside of catting, are you a video game enthusiast? Do you have time?
I know we didn't get off to a great start, but thanks for the same.
Actually, yeah, what brings a cat mother to a Resident Evil stream?
You're a hell of a lot braver than
I know we've got animals in Resident Evil for sure.
Well, what matters is that we can get everyone.
Are you a cat gamer? Also, what's up here?
You'll be safe.
I feel like I'm asking questions quicker than they can be answered. Okay, it's fine. I mean, you know, you're classy about it. You're classy about it. But what kind of stuff do you stream? Since we've got nothing to do but listen to Carlos and his stupid haircut, then yeah, give us the sales pitch. Give us the elevator pitch.
What about you?
From the sound of it, I won't be catching the train.
It's either you or Carlos, and I'd rather listen to you, quite frankly.
New orders.
Look at that haircut. I can't take you seriously, Carlos.
It's fine by me.
No, I'm kidding. I do like Carlos. This is a guy who, the actor for this, his performance in this alone got him the role of Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 8, which is like the main one. Resident Evil. Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight. That's... Not many people play both, because me and Julie play Dead by Daylight quite frequently. In which you're free to join, should you be free. We don't really have a set schedule, but we do it. Yeah, oh, you're hardcore. That's some, like, horror gaming.
Carlos, Tyrell, you have your orders. You need to go back out into the city and find Nathaniel Bard.
Nathaniel Bard is another completely original addition to this.
Do not worry.
Yeah, when I've got a free finger, I'll follow you.
It's alright, you're going ahead.
We've been playing Dead by Daylight for like 2 weeks now. We're fine when we play together with like other people from Twitch who know to be good on it. But check out my channel and follow if you can. And you'll find one of my introductory videos of Dead by Daylight where the guy playing the killer has to stop killing me in order to show me where the exit is. Oh, thanks, Anna. Thank you. I will, as soon as I'm not holding this, because I stream through the console, I don't have a laptop or anything, and I'm very simplistic. But yeah, if you want to see the killer have to stop to help me because I'm so bad at Dead by Daylight, and I still lost even with the killer's help, that's the level I'm at, so I'm pretty sure you're better than that. I'm talking over this cutscene, aren't I?
I have it on good authority.
Again, Mikhail, played by William Hope from Aliens, and Nikolai, whose name I forget, but is also very good. They've got some really good chemistry going on here. There's the mocap and face cap is just, it's spot on.
Ambush a platoon like that. Funny, the gate was locked. Don't you think?
What was that?
Okay, I'm very glad to hear that, Anna, because it's not just a me thing then.
How is this fucker not dead yet?
No, they're gone.
Oh, okay, this is actually a really good cutscene. Have you played this, Anna? Played RE3?
Nikolai, what
or
are you
any
doing?
RE, really? Mikhail's big cutscene is... Julie 12M LOL! See, this guy, Nemesis, can impale from a distance and insta-kill. Gioli has in his actual hands multiple times and still can't figure out how to kill him. R.I.P. Mikhail. Went out like an absolute Chad. Your friends might be sick of it, but your fans will love it. Oh, it's loading screen. My face is over the loading bar, so I don't know if the console's crashed or what. Which ones did you stream? All of them? Did you do a complete Resident Evil playthrough and beat me to it? Damn, I thought it was cool.
It's been a while. Subway's got to be clear of the city by now.
Along with your hot date.
Nah, she's not like that. Hell, she's not like anyone.
See, conversely to a lot of stuff in Resident Evil 3 Remake, Tyrell here, the cool black guy, had like one line in like one possible path you could possibly take in the original, but here has an actual character. And it's actually a lot better for it. It's something that's actually been added to the game rather than taken from it, and is a good thing.
This is the police station. You sure? It looks like a cemetery to me.
2, 3, 4, tried 7. Oh, interesting. A lot of people have that reaction to first-person games. Not me, but some people just can't do the first-person camera. Although 7's got a very low field of view, which I gather has got something to do with the brain chemistry and how that works out. Also, for anybody who's not too familiar with Resident Evil, if this place looks familiar, which it should, it's the Raccoon Police Department, where Claire was. And this entrance that Carlos is coming in through is where Leon's game will start, for the B character. So you'll see that. Is that a familiar face? I think it fucking is.
Come on, man. Not you
It's Marvin! Last seen being euthanized by us in Resident Evil 2. How did he get bitten by a zombie? That's how. That's how. So if you want to know why he's wounded. That's all we see of Marvin in this game. He's just there as like a little fan service. And again, how utterly brainless it is that Jill isn't in these situations because she knows Marvin, she knows Brad, and
You stay on the door.
having to put Brad down even when she knows him would be really dramatic, but they sent Carlos instead, for whom it doesn't make any difference. Oh yeah, we play as Carlos now, by the way. In the original, we played as Carlos briefly in the hospital, but in this one, we also play as Carlos in the hospital. I'm not feeling the movie, to be honest. There's, shit. There's a whole bunch of choices they've made with it that I am not either comfortable with or want to see. Plus, I actually did the maths on this. This will... Oh, hello. This will quite literally be the 11th attempt at making a movie out of Resident Evil. There's 6 live-action movies, 3 animated ones, and that god-awful Netflix series, which is a movie sliced into chunks. I think it's time to give up.
Where'd that cop go?
I mean, 11 times and still not a good one.
We got a job to do.
No.
Worth a damn, then barge in the STARS office. Let's find him and take him into custody.
Custody?
Looks
This is a
familiar.
rescue.
Oh, right, these are the cheats I got. I was wondering what these are doing here.
Take a look at this.
Not yet,
I've
not yet.
located the STARS office.
It's out, yeah, it's out, like, this week, isn't it? I mean, I'm iffy on Ghostbusters, but, yeah, I'll probably skip it. I skipped all the RE movies since the third one. It's like, I was crazy excited for the first one, and then the second one, which is based on the original version of this game, it had Nemesis in it, and, like, original Jill Valentine in it, and that was about it, really. But that was terrible. And then there was the third one, which was Mad Max, basically, and that was not great. And after that point, I gave up. I didn't even watch the rest. I think I caught some streaming later, and they were even worse. So, yeah. November 24th. And this is Marvin's special seat, but he's hiding someplace else. We don't come across Marvin again, which is a real missed opportunity. Hellcat says hello.
Area looks clear.
Does he say hello by hissing and scratching?
Now here's a weird fucking door.
All those internet memes about cats typing are basically coming true. So with extreme caution, please give Hellcat a scratch behind the ears from me. I like being able to sort of scratch dangerous cats by proxy. Anna Miraji. So presumably the wounded Marvin has been moving all the furniture around in the RPD because these doors that lead to the waiting room from the Raccoon Police Department are now blocked. Oh, and this thing down here that we put the medals in has got this sheet draped over it. Basically, there's just some visual cues here to let me know. Ah, nice, nice, nice. I have trouble getting emotes sometimes. I get the emote and sometimes I just get a random section of letters and numbers and like a name. So I'm not sure it's all going to work through. So, yes, we're playing as Carlos, where we used to play the show. Carlos has an expanded role in this game. I think before he had a brief section in the hospital, and that was it. But here he's got like about 40% of the game is Carlos. And the different thing with Carlos is, as you've already noticed, he has a motherfucking machine gun! And lots of ammo, which makes things significantly easier. We can't reach those bullets. We have to be in the other room. Carlos can't reach that. Anna Mushti, this is Sam. Okay, I'm getting some icons. I didn't get the Pippa one, but I got the Sam one. I'm sure anybody familiar with Resident Evil knows why I just aimed at this window. Oh yeah, remember that cop we found with his face hanging off in Resident Evil 2 Remake?
What the hell was
Yeah, that's how that happened. Another cool addition to this game is... Somebody take a drink every time I say this. In the original, liquors didn't actually feature. But because we go back to the RPD, they've actually put the liquors back in the RPD where they belong, which is nice.
Couldn't have been a zombie.
Quote unquote. We can't lift his head up because that's what Claire does and Leon do in Resident Evil 2. We also can't knock this guy down because in a weird bit of actually paying attention to connectivity, in Resident Evil 2 you hit this guy and he falls down and his head breaks open. But in this one, nope. Just clean his shoes all you like. Boingy, boingy, boing. Whee! I'm Mr. Shoeface. Now we know where these claw marks came from. It's nice. There are certain things they've overlooked.
I didn't stick around. Here we go.
I mean, I don't really need to save the ammo, but... Bam. Oh, Christ, they did it again. And just like in... No. Ah. I did a spectacularly bad job of demonstrating it there, but whereas Jill has her dodge move, if Carlos pulls off a successful dodge, he does a fucking falcon punch. See if I can... I'll try and demonstrate it, but I haven't really got the help. Boom! Well, we climbed up here in RE2, but it's no longer there. So, yeah, it's just slightly different. You don't go to the entire RPD, it's just kind of a mad tour. The lockers from RE2 are still there, and the codes are still the same. So that's nice.
Something nasty. Alright. I'll take a look with the cameras. Watch your six.
But because Carlos has got a machine gun and lots of ammo, the game kind of compensates for that, shall we say. Locker room CAP. I know we did this in RE2, but I'm not going to remember. Somebody remember locker room CAP. Yeah, Julie and I have got joint stream plans, but Julie just started God of War, which is a very brave choice, because say what you will about that game, easy it isn't. Run. Oh, crying out loud. Oh, am I dead? Yeah, I'm dead. Okay, well hopefully I don't have to go back too far. Of course, playing as Carlos, I've lost all my healing items, so, yeah. So what are you streaming right now, Anna? Oh, for fuck's sake, back here? Alright, let's run through this. See, this game has really good checkpoints until it doesn't. So the Nemesis fight, I went back like 6 feet, and this one I've gone back to the beginning of the section. Yeah, no. That's what I get for talking and not playing. I've played God of War twice. I played it when it came out on the PS5 just to test it out, and it does look and run beautifully. But I've never been inclined to completely finish it. I mean, I don't really need to save the ammo. I just want to get through this. See, this game has really good checkpoints until it doesn't. So the Nemesis fight, I went back like 6 feet, and this one I've gone back to the beginning of the section. Yeah, no. That's what I get for talking and not playing. I more prefer the original God of Wars, to be honest, the kind of Ray Harryhausen ones. I found the new one was nicely written, but a little dull.
Where'd that cop go? Don't know, don't care.
Yeah, me neither.
We got a job to do.
Alright, Tyrell, let's see your
Our intel's
cutscene.
still worth a damn, then Bard's in the STARS office. Let's find him and take him into custody.
Right, enough playing like a chump. Let's,
I thought this was a rescue. Carlos, take a look at this.
wait.
I've located the STARS office.
Are commands those things where I sometimes get an emoji and sometimes get like Julie M12 4K or something? Shut up, Tyrell, I'm busy. Has Ragnarok got a release date yet? I think it's one of those things I'm kind of waiting for, but I'll see how it runs, because it looks very similar to the first one. And like I say, I didn't gel with the first one, the fourth one. 2022. It's a variable date. I think it'll make it out, but I think Horizon 2's first, if I recall. That's quite an early one.
So this search and rescue mission is really more like find and detain.
Yeah, shut up, Carlos.
Right.
I liked the trilogy a lot. I like the original God of War a lot. They were very hard, but they were just such good fun. And like the giant monster battles and the whole like Greek mythology Ray Harryhausen movie with the tits and blood turned up to 1,000. That's my jam. The new one's beautifully written, but there's the all over the shoulder combat and everything just felt a bit clunky to me. But I know people are acting like it's the greatest game ever and everything. It's like, yeah, I like it, but I'm not going to go crazy. We stole Brad's card. Yeah. We know what happened, these. Yeah, I mean, if you want an example, Julie, because you're playing the new one and haven't played the originals, of the tonal difference between the original trilogy and the new ones. The original is like a very deep and kind of tragic story about a father being unable to connect with his son. And in the original, the guy is so masculine, he has sex with the goddess of love so well that she gives him everything he wants and makes all her assistants have sex too. I'm crying out loud. Alright, do you know what? I've been using the handgun to try and save ammo, but no, I'm not going to be conservative with the ammo anymore. I'm just going to let them have it. Yeah, the original God of War was famous for having some of video game's first sex scenes, but they're all kind of done hilariously.
There's something real nasty in here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the dialogue. God of War is not a children's game. Look up any of like the executions from God of War 3, and no, those are like, some of that stuff is so violent it even makes me wince. Plus, there's a bit when you have to rescue a topless princess, and Kratos literally ends up using her as a door opener just to hold a lever up to open the door, which then crushes her to death, and he just doesn't even move or care. Yeah, he also kills his own wife and child. That's kind of a twist in the original. To be fair, it's an accident. I mean, the thing is, he's manipulated into it, and it's kind of a play on the whole big-scale Greek tragedy approach to, oh, for fuck's sake. Stay down! I've officially run out of patience with you, lads. Unbelievable amounts of violence. I mean, there's not a single monster in that game that you can't kill in a horrifically violent way. Like, there's frequent monsters like Cyclopses, you can just rip their eyeballs out, they're mono eyeballs, or force them to give a blowjob to a dagger. And I think that's what Hermes, the Greek god of speed, he just pulls both his legs off. But I think the big one is Helios, the god of the sun, who has sunlight coming out of his eyes. And Kratos, in gloriously graphic detail, just has a shot, kind of like this one, just straight in the camera, of Helios' head as Kratos just pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls until he tears his whole head off. And from the rest of the game, it becomes an inventory item, and you can carry it around and use it as a torch because the sun comes out of its eyes. So it's kind of hilarious at the same time. That's probably the extreme, but yeah. There's bits where you'll find like a wounded soldier begging for help, and what you've got to do with him is pick him up and put him on a trap that makes fire come out and opens the door so that he gets burned to death, but the door opens and Kratos can get through. Yeah, I don't think Julie didn't get as far as Mimir. You're still at the very beginning. Nope. So plenty to look forward to in God of War. I would advise, like I said on your stream, 9:15:7. 9:15:7. I'll go back to that. I would advise just looking up like a YouTube video summary of the God of War series. You weren't too stuck. I mean, that was just a good point to end, I think, your stream. But most puzzles in God of War are either optional or you can solve them by just poking around the environment for a little bit. It's all good. No. 9:15:7. Again, same code as RE2. I should remember it. Do I have any? No. Sorry, lads. I want that stuff, and I don't care anymore because I've died twice and I'm out of patience. Which means headshots for you and headshots for you. Oh my good freaking lord! That was a cheap shot. There's headshots for you. And herbs for me. It's a waste of my life. Come on. Right. Enough of that bullshit. You stay down. 9, 15. Yeah, Julie and I generally try to do a joint stream on Sunday evenings, which usually works out for both of us. And if we're doing Dead by Daylight, oh, good joke here. Come on, Carlos. No, he's not saying it today. But Leon Kennedy's first day on the job, as we'll see in his campaign. Okay, is that every night, Anna? Let everybody know, let the chat know. I mean, you know, there's an artful way to promote your own stream here, but I will not... Oh, my light just died. Which actually makes it much easier to see the game. And I'm just going to... What I'm going to do is recharge the battery. This stream has been so long, I've gone through an entire battery pack. But I said I would stream this game until I got to that point, and I'm going to do it in one stream today.
Copy that.
Or run out of time imminently and have to go to work. As long as you can see me, that's fine. I apologise for the lack of production values and Hollywood stakes you've come to expect of me. I'm not drinking tea. I am drinking now very cold coffee from my Resident Evil mug. But I'm clearly the worst person in Britain because I'm not much of a tea fan. I like green mint tea. I'm a coffee guy. You stay down. You stay down. Good. So, when we played Resident Evil 2, I don't have to cope with this. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. Italian tea I've never had. When we played Resident Evil 2, you got through up here by coming up here and going through a hole in the wall here. The day before, that hole isn't there. And there's a hole in the locker room downstairs in Resident Evil 2, which isn't there, and we have to now... Oh, that's cheap, come on. I'm actually kind of beginning to lose my patience with Carlos's section. The hole downstairs, we have to blow a hole in the wall, and in Resident Evil 2, we get through that hole there, and now because of Resident Evil 3, we know how the hole got there, which is great. But the hole they've added, the non-hole they've added upstairs, there's still no explanation for why there's a hole in the wall. So that's the dictionary definition of 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards off a fucking bridge. Oh, it was CAP, wasn't it? Come on, give me some good stuff. But we're very gifted, Judy and I, to have many of our followers. It's her friend. Those are coming from the locker. Don't open the locker! Don't bring batteries to the detonator. Safety deposit room key. We've got the safety deposit room key. Wow, the heroic Wes not only let his friend keep $600, but he's hidden himself in this here locker.
Better not.
Better not. But tomorrow in Resident Evil 2, which we've already done, Claire and or Leon will open that. Right, so now we're going to go to the safety deposit room and get the battery for the detonator. You motherfuckers stay down. Oh boy. I hate these guys.
There you are, dickface.
Yeah, keep quiet, Carlos. Don't shout swear words at it. Oh. Wow, what a strange man. DCM. Remember that? Remember DCM, chat. Ah! What am I doing here? What am I trying to get into? 104, 106, 109. And these will all be full, won't they? Because we need to put the keys on in Resident Evil 2. 104. Yes, it's the exact same locker we did this to in Resident Evil 2, and we'll do again next time with Leon S. Kennedy. 106. I'm so looking forward to playing Resident Evil 4. I love Resident Evil 4. I'm not just like amongst Resident Evils, it's one of my favourite games of all time. That's going to be a little treat for me. Because by that point I will have played Code Veronica, and that will not be a treat for me. You love Leon and his spectacular hair. Truly, only the power of the PlayStation 5 can render that hair. You could be his mum. To be fair, especially in Resident Evil 2 Remake, he's very baby-faced. You love him in the sense you want to mother him. I can respect that. Who wants to go out and kiss a licker? Not me, but I'm going to do it anyway. This we need to ram in the thing upstairs. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, you're going to be exactly where I need you to not be, aren't you? Not going to ask any questions. Anna, you're a mother of cats. Well, so which Leon? I mean, this is the kind of thing that as a man I can't have the same perspective. Hey, what's down there? It's cool. Yeah, sucker. Is like fresh-faced young boy band Resident Evil 2 Leon hotter than like older, more grizzled, more competent Resident Evil 4 Leon? Or older still, I was about to say older still, even grislier still, leather jacket wearing kind of motorcycle dad Resident Evil 6 Leon? Because Leon's gone through many phases in his long career. I think I'm going to try and force one of my frequent collaborators to do those games with me, because Resident Evil 5 is a good game co-op and a boring game solo, and Resident Evil 6 just blows. But having another person there can make it slightly less painful. That's how the hole got there, people! Anybody who doesn't know anything about Resident Evil continuity but cares enough to know about the structural integrity of every single place that Resident Evil games take place, now has your answer. Now, yeah. Last time I played this was on ultra hard mode, and there were not just zombies but a whole bunch of other things there, and it was all kind of cartoonishly hard. I could just toss a grenade in there. Do I have a hand grenade? Oh, I do. Eat grenade, dicks. Oh boy, that blew them toward me. Falcon Punch. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm a long way off the 50 subscriber necessary thing for Twitch. So I'm trying to talk and not be killed at the same time. Yeah, I don't even want weapons. Nah. Yeah, so I think I've got like 18 or 19, so I'm a long way off. I do, but I get the impression that to sort of get to that level, I'd have to sort of do things I wouldn't necessarily want to do, like a lot of kind of clingy social networky stuff, and play a lot of like popular games rather than the stuff I want to play. I will definitely stop by your stream. I mean, especially if you're doing horror games, that's kind of my jam. So as soon as I'm off this, I will give you an ad. Oh, sorry, story, by the way. There's story happening over there. enjoy that. Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I will definitely do it on my terms. I'll play the games I want to play. I've got my schedule, and that's not always necessarily compliant with like the best professional decision. As you know, as I've lived life, I haven't necessarily just done what needs to be done. I do things on my terms, and yeah, if it stops being fun or I stop enjoying it and it becomes like a second job, not so much. It's kind of in the hobby area right now. I'd like to make a career out of it, but not a main career out of it, but like a side hustle out of it. But yeah, I'm not going to just like. I mean, we do play Fortnite, but I'm not going to play Fortnite and Warzone and Rocket League over and over again like all the people. I'm not going to like wear a bra and bounce up and down in a hot tub all day long. Would anybody pay for that? Probably not.
Look around, see if you can find anything useful.
Sorry, what happened there? Yeah, so the guy we were looking for is on this CRT. Do you want to know what really bugs me, to show you the depth of my nerdiness? This webcam, which I don't think existed in 1998 when this game took place, isn't there when we come back in RE2. Did Tyrell take it with him? What's the explanation there? We talked about the picture of Jill's boyfriend being replaced with a golden Labrador puppy. Had we come back here as Jill, this would have all been very interesting. Lickers ate the camera. Someone somewhere is getting video feed of a Lickers intestines. Probably seeing Brad. Is there still... Yes. Remember Rebecca when we played Resident Evil 0 right back at the beginning? The little jailbaity first aid girl and the 80s mullet guy? This is her desk. Where is she now? She's pretty much dropped from continuity after the first game. So, yeah, maybe they'll find her in the belly of that liquor. Who knows? And also, well, I did this in the Claire stream. Claire has the Made in Heaven jacket. Here's another Made in Heaven jacket that belongs to Chris Redfield, which we never actually see him wear in game. And we don't know where the guitar comes from. It was in the original. We can't. I for one can't really imagine Chris Redfield playing guitar. But yeah, there it is. And look, the door's left open. Imagine the hassle that we could have saved had someone left this door open in Resident Evil 2, and we wouldn't have to go looking for a bloody STARS badge that's also a USB dongle. That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine. I'm all fine. I'm fine. I'm going to take your pot plants as well. I'm going to do. And here's the desk of trustworthy super guy Wesker and his very, very strange taste of decor. And I know that part of the laziness of both these games is they just recycle these pictures from elsewhere. But I mean, even in normal times, why did Wesker have a picture of like a pregnant pilgrim woman on his wall? I know the dude's weird, but come on. Come on. And here's that picture again.
Is that Jill in the front row?
This is from the original Resident Evil 2, like the 1998 one, which is why the characters all look a little bit iffy. And it's a nice little Easter egg that's here, but this is the third time it's appeared in this game alone. So, oh, what's this now? The Mansion Incident. We know, because people on this channel, we were cool, we were there. And Bravo team was a series of murders, radio silence. Well, this is pretty much what happened. Casualties numerous. The only survivors were 5 members of STARS. Oh yeah, no, 5 members, including Brad. Who can't really be listed as a survivor anymore for obvious reasons. T-virus, evidence was destroyed. Now, they believe Wesker to be dead at this point, so you would have thought they'd do a better job cleaning out his office. While this is happening, Jill's having a subway crash, by the way, in case you're wondering what happened to Jill. We'll be seeing Jill again. This is where Chris's letter was. Which again, Jill coming across Chris's letter would be a great character moment, but they chose to give this moment to Carlos, which means nothing. Alright, so here's one for the ladies out there, since we're on it already. Leon or Chris? You know, Resident Evil 6 Leon over Resident Evil 2 Leon, but if you want Grizzly, Chris gets Grizzly. I mean, you've seen like Resident Evils 5 to 8 Chris? That's like Hollywood poster child of Grizzly. We're looking at Tyrell. Who are you typing to? Who are you messaging? What's going on, Tyrell? Don't need Brad's card anymore. Screw his memory. Because I feel Chris goes all the way from kind of fresh-faced, like, soy boy in Resident Evil 1 to Code Veronica to, like, grizzly muscle man to sort of paranoid survivalist dad across the series. Let's go visit that liquor.
Yeah, what's up? Derailed. Was anyone hurt?
Jill?
Ah, shit. Wait, what? Jill! Jill, what happened? Jill, come in!
Easy, I gotta go. Do what you gotta. I'll take care of Bart.
Yeah, there's liquor out there, Carlos. Okay. I love when characters in cutscenes are just blissfully unaware of the mess I made in the gameplay. And this is where we left Jill. Just going to do a quick time check here. Okay, nearly 3 hours, which is longer than I thought it would take, but I did die a bunch of times and literally spent... I mean, I was thorough in this game in a way that I'm not usually. You know, I did all the bolt cutting and all the lock picking, and I did all that. After, I think we're about 15 minutes away from the point where I'm going to end the stream, because we get to the point in the story where, no spoilers for the 1 or 2 people that don't know, Resident Evil 2 happens, basically. So I'll come back with my next stream with Resident Evil 2 Leon's Quest, and then finish up here, because this picks up after Leon and Claire have left in Resident Evil 2. And I have to find a way of making, like, streaming the whole series and doing both stories in Resident Evil 2, because I feel you have to do both Claire's and Leon's in a way that you don't have to do both Chris and Jill in the first game, without just playing the same game twice in a row. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm going to obey chronological order of the series, which is batshit. Mine rounds, formerly their own weapon, now been relegated to just a round, but this is just an explanation of what mine rounds are. I don't need them. That's a bit too much explaining, really. What are we carrying? Yes, so I haven't done too well this evening, have I? So let's just see if I've got any health items. I haven't, but I've got some stuff left. Yeah, one of those. Screw it, let's have the lot. Let's load up. Noticed everyone's gone suspiciously quiet when I asked them to nominate the sexiest Resident Evil character. Hey, guys or girls, whatever you're into. Get a poll going. I will forever be torn between Jill and Ada. Julie's the Leon girl. Although I get, Julie, you haven't seen some of the... Wait, how many rounds am I carrying? Some of the versions of Leon. Oh no, we actually finished Leon and Helena's campaign in Resident Evil 6 together, didn't we? So, yeah, good choice, good choice. I apologise for questioning your Resident Evil knowledge. Let's put some in the bank for later. Oh, I'll take one shotgun shell, come on. It's Jill or Ada? I mean, yeah, I love Claire as well. And I think that Remake 2 Claire would definitely be up there. Plus there's some, you know, the one-off girls, Helena from Resident Evil 6, deserves a nod. It's difficult when you've got like a really hot or good character who's in an otherwise forgettable game. Oh, come on! Oh god, double teamed, I might not survive this. Yeah, didn't think so. I hate that stupid little button mash thing, it's just bloody annoying. I don't recall playing this game and getting quite so blindsided like this before. Yeah, also Jill, other than having a bad stomach upset apparently, survived with no injuries where literally everybody else was wiped out. So when we said she was lucky and made a very tough bones... But that's the kind of quick and deadly experience that happens in Resident Evil. In the older games, you'd have to keep saving at typewriters and it would be genuinely scary because you would lose progress, but now they've added modern-day checkpointing. Shut up. It does take the sting out of it a bit, which is nice for situations like this. And I'm very happy I don't need to stream the last 45 minutes of the game to you all again and expect you all to pretend to care. Oh, do I need to do all this again? No, fine. You know what? Executive decision. We'll be fine with what we've got. Sometimes you just gotta fly by the seat of your pants. And Jill's ass is used to getting bruised and severely burnt in this. Oh, come on. Kick him. Stomp him on the head. On the head. Stomp him on the head. Okay, no fucking around this time. No. What the hell? Ugh! I have no idea why she wouldn't fire. Alright, that's it. We're done. And thankfully we burned Nemesis up on the train with no problems whatsoever.
We're still alive.
Oh, we're still alive.
I can't stay here.
And this is a nice kind of open view of Raccoon City we don't normally get. And that's the clock tower. In the original, take a drink. Hey, Shrek, welcome. Welcome. You are welcome to be as lurky or as chatty as you like on this channel. We don't judge you for lurking furtively in the shadows, presumably rubbing your thighs and smiling. It's just important that you smile. Yes, in the original, the clock tower is like a little where you revisit a kind of microcosm of the mansion from the first game, and it's where a big story event takes place, which kind of ends the Resident Evil 3 section, encourages the time jump from this to Resident Evil 2. I really am going to have to waste this green herb, aren't I? And there's lots of cool puzzles in there and some really cool gothic design. In this remake, however, you just go to the outside of it and then nothing happens and then it's over. Yeah. It's kind of like remaking Jurassic Park and skipping the bit with the T-Rex and the Jeep. And also, as we're about to see, one of the game's biggest missteps for me is something that this. Nemesis is on fire! It's burning all his skin. He's been on fire for a good 10 minutes at this point, but now it's burning all his skin.
Bitch can't even swim.
But what's going on under the water there?
Respond.
Yeah, what's up?
We didn't make it. The train derailed.
Derailed? Was anyone hurt?
No, everybody's dead. Mikhail, everybody.
Shit.
Oh, this bitch can swim.
Wait, what?
Carlos, you've met Nikolai. You can't be surprised at this.
It's back.
Yeah, this is Nemesis now. This never happened in the original. In the original, every time there was a big fight and Jill did some serious damage to the Nemesis, goodbye, Anna. I'll follow you, and we'll stream together soon. Definitely. The other Nemesis, Dustanak, Resident Evil 6. Now, in the original, after every big fight, Nemesis would first he'd lose his top and be kind of like a mangled muscle man with tentacles everywhere, and then he'd like lose an arm and lose a limb, and he'd just like keep taking damage and mutating, and basically he got more and more fucked up and bedraggled looking in direct proportion to Jill killing the crap out of him. Meaning that his like physical state mirrored Jill's psychological state as they sort of spent the night chipping away at each other over the course of the game. In this one, he just turns into a dog. He spends more of the game as a dog than he does as Nemesis, and that is absolutely heartbreaking, because this is just another monster now. And like I say, this is one of the main things I don't like about this, is that Nemesis isn't really Nemesis anymore. Like, Mr. X from RE2 is a better Nemesis than this version of Nemesis. And that is just heartbreaking to me. No, don't use your mine rounds, Joe. Don't use your mine. It looks like I'm doing nothing. I'm very slowly loading my grenade launcher. Also, this view is lovely, but it's all we get to see of the clock tower, really. Any more mine? Oh! Am I dead, or am I just off camera? Oh no, that actually survives. Alright. Enough of this. Oh god, he's got the zoomies. But yeah, I mean, Jill's had some pretty major fucking flesh wounds tonight, I'll tell you that. Well, you take the... Yes, there you go, do something operatic. Still with this? I know giving you a current form is a bit of an indelicate thing to say, but literal... Come on! Oh, okay. He's got a sonic roar now, he can do that, and I'm carrying a green herb and nothing else. Don't really need ammo right now, but... Okay, he's running around in a circle, which means... I am sucking at this game! Fun as that was, I do need health, so... green herb, come on, go! Okay, this is all we've got, so I better start being careful. Oh, he's off again. Come on. Shoot your wibbly parasitey bits. I don't remember him doing this nearly as much in previous playthroughs. Okay, now I'm on one hit left and got no health, so Oh, he's got the zoomies again. No, yeah. There we go. Come on. Okay. Any more health left anywhere? More mine rounds, which is good. I think if you need mine rounds to kill him, you just can't without it, though. I think if you run out, the game will furnish you, but what I need is health! Not mine rounds, health! Alright, yeah, keep dogging it. Hold still, thank you. Seriously, any health anywhere? Because I'm getting kind of... Okay, yep, take him down. You know what? Have them all. Oh, go dogging it, yeah, go dogging around the... Will you just fucking die? Oh, thanks.
Right, let's do this. Suck it!
We're going to have to go over time a little bit, because I just realised there's no save point on the point I'm intended to stop. And he's dead once and for all.
Carlos, you still there? Come on.
Anything cool left around here? No, I don't care. Literally staggering away, and yeah, step over it. This is a really smart move, Jill. Really smart. This thing having proven notoriously easy to kill. Oh, nice little Rancor nod. That actually is pretty cool. Now, stab. At no point anywhere else outside this one cutscene has, like, infectious barbs been a nemesis thing, but for this one cutscene he can do infectious barbs. Isn't he originally stuck her with, like, a tentacle and pumps it into her as a... I don't think they were avoiding the rape analogy because of the face rape insect thing earlier. It's just another weird choice that's like the worst choice narratively. But that's what's happening with Jill, yeah. And half a day later, during which Resident Evil 2 happens. So we're now after Resident Evil 2. Leon, Claire, and Sherry and Ada, they're gone. Half a day? What's he been doing for half a day? Anyway, this is never answered. It's a wonderful question from the original, which they had an opportunity to answer here, and they didn't even try. You could have had a playable section of Carlos getting across the city to Jill and put some actual content in the game. Nah, just skip forward half a day, there he is. She just got infected with the T-virus, but half a day later, she's fine, she's just still lying there. presumably stewing in her own excrement and piss at this point, because it's been half a day. Although before, Carlos takes her to the chapel in the hospital and in the clock tower, but now he takes her to the actual hospital because she's infected, which actually makes more sense. I mean, I know that a lot of Latin American countries have a lot of stock in religion, but taking a sick woman to a church that's next door to a hospital wouldn't have made nearly as much sense. So, yes, the RPD has been abandoned, Brian Irons is dead, everything in RE2 is over at this point. I meant to be playing this after playing Leon's campaign, but I need to save first, and then we'll leave it here. We'll leave it here.
I'm gonna get you the vaccine.
But just remember, through RE2, Jill is lying in this bed. Oh, lying in that alleyway, actually, because our Carlos hasn't arrived yet. And we'll save this here. And yeah, I remember when I played RE2 recently, I had a really good first stream where I took like 2 hits in the entire stream, and I was like, yeah, this has not been that. I've been getting the shit killed out of me left and right and been chomped, and yeah, I apologise for my abysmal performance rather than the professional level of gaming excellence you've all come to expect of me and love. But we will wrap it up there. I think we're almost exactly at 3:06. 3:06. This is a long stream. A rough but fun watch. Well, the fun is more important than rough. I mean, if having my body violated and punished is entertaining to you all, I'm more than willing to do it because I'm that desperate for attention and validation. But thanks, Julie. Thanks, Shrek. Thanks, everybody in chat. And if anybody's watching this video later on demand, watch live. Follow my thing. Or you can watch it on YouTube at You Know The Name with no underscores, where all these are being archived. And if you're watching there, come join on Twitch. Wherever you are, go to the other place. Thanks, Shrek. You have a good day too. And yeah, I may have said it before, but the world is full of winners and losers, and I hope you're one of them.